Hello and welcome to
Two.
Totally Booked Right Now.
Yay!
The
We're here.
technological issues continue, but everything's cool.
But hopefully everything's fine. It's gonna be great from here on out.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
I know it'll make me feel better talking about A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. It really will. I've been looking forward to this all
I
day.
have too. I know.
And then the internet trying to, steal my joy. I don't like that.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, today, that's the book we're covering. It's part 1, Princess of Carrion, chapters 1 through 10. This is book 3 in the ACOTAR series. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Kimmy? Take us away.
All right. So there was a brief little prologue in this book. It's Rhys, 500 years ago and 2 years before the wall is established. And he is sifting through the battlefield, looking through the dead and praying and hoping that he does not find Cassian or Azriel in the rubble. His father had sent reinforcements to the area he was defending. He was in the center of the continent, which I think is near the mountain. Where under the mountain occurred.
Well, I was thinking they were on the actual continent next to Prithian.
I thought that first as well, but then Rhys says that he was there defending the forge that they were using to create their weapons and stuff at. So then now I don't know if they were at the continent or actually in Prithian.
Well, because is Prithian a continent? It's an island.
Right. I don't know. That's so true. I don't know what they consider it. I mean, Australia is also a continent.
Right. It's bigger, though.
That's true.
I feel like, I just feel like in previous books when Rhys is talking about the war, I feel like he was sent to the actual away
continent.
From Prithian.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
I know. Maybe. Let us know. Each Illyrian he finds saddens him, but then he also feels so much guilt from being thankful that none of them are Cassian or Azriel. And we're just setting the scene for the battle, people. Just buckle up, because this book is about ready to have it all. All right, so chapter 1, if anybody needs a little reminder, we left off with Feyre leaving Hybern with Lucien and Tamlin, and her sisters were taken by Moore back to the Night Court. And so what does Feyre have in store for the Spring Court? Let's find out. Yes. Feyre is painting the rose garden in the art studio that Tamlin had set up for her in the Spring Court manor. All she can think about is how fake the light and beauty of the painting is reflecting, while she really wishes she could depict thorns shredding this incessant spring apart. She's got an act to still put on, though. She thinks, I suppose that in the past weeks, I had crafted my demeanor as intricately as one of these paintings. I suppose that if I had also chose to show myself as I truly wished, I would have been adorned with flesh-shredding talons and hands that choked the life out of those now in my company. And I'm like, oh, freaking go off, Feyre. I love this vengeful side of you. It's amazing.
Yes, kill. I know. She's really grumpy. I also like that.
Yes.
What's going on right now?
And for good reason to be grumpy, finally, a little bit.
I feel like I can just imagine this scene so perfectly, like the start of a movie where it was horrible battle and then it
shifts
transitions to sunshine, birds are singing, zooms in on Feyre, she's painting. I don't know.
And looking upset about it, kind of, but trying. Yeah.
Just imagine 90s opening to a movie.
Yes, 100%. So as Feyre is thinking about her painting, she snaps the paintbrush that she's holding in half. She needs to keep up her image, though, and first make sure that no one is around. She then burns the broken paintbrush and summons wind to blow the ashes away and remove any lingering charred scent. She thinks, perhaps when my task here is done, I'll burn this manor to the ground too, starting with those roses. I'm like, yeah, go full scorched earth, Feyre. Let's go. Just... love it.
Yeah.
Feyre has mentally set up triggers and alarms that sense if anyone is coming, and she senses 2 figures approaching. She does her best to appear lost in her art. The charade has begun.
She's
So
like, oh
neat.
my God, I didn't even see you there.
I realized you were here. Tamlin has come to retrieve her for the first meeting with Ianthe since their return from Hybern. They confirm that she really is coming, and I can't believe she's showing her face after all of her bullshit. And Lucian says that Ianthe wants to explain her reasoning behind her actions. Feyre thinks, I wondered what Lucian truly made of it, and the fact that the collateral in her friendship with Hybern had wound up being his mate, Elaine. Like, yeah, Lucian has a good reason to really freaking hate Ianthe at this point. If before everything else we also know about that, but now even more so.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm also like, what could your reason possibly be that would make it better at all? I mean, we know it's going to be a lie, but like,
Right.
what?
There's no way to excuse yourself. I'm sorry. There's just no way.
Yeah, none.
When Feyre first arrived back at the manor, she told Lucian that Rhys has more creative ways to harm her sisters than outright hurting them. Think his nice little squishy mind stuff. But she wasn't sure Lucian believed her due to her omitting information and making excuses for the gaps in her memory from her time in the Night Court. Tamlin compliments her painting and she brushes it off like the old Feyre would. Like, it's fine. It's still kind of a mess, though. And he tells her that he thinks that they're all still a little bit of a mess. My God, especially you, Tamlin. You need your brain checked.
Yeah. I mean, they all need
Honestly.
therapy, right? And
Right. Yeah.
Feyre, she wants to roll her eyes. She keeps it locked up. And I also rolled my eyes when I read this. But then I was thinking about like the fact that he even said anything alluding to mental health at all is like cuckoo bananas. Book 2 Tamlin would never. So it does feel big, but obviously like too little, too late. Tamlin, nice try.
And I think he might be walking around on eggshells around her, too. Like,
Yeah.
he knows that, like, oh, maybe she's back. But I kind of did some messed up things to get her here, so
Right.
maybe I need to be a little.
Yeah. And some messed up stuff to get her to leave, whether she
Yes,
was
yeah, I know.
abducted or,
Right.
left of
He's
her
got a
own free
lot
will.
to be sorry about right now. So
Mm-hmm.
Feyre goes upstairs to change out of her paint clothes and notes that it's taken some time for her to get used to going to her new room. Tamlin had destroyed her old room and didn't allow it to be cleaned, and now there's thorny vines growing throughout it. And when I read this, I was like, is his power responding to his devastation and generating these massive vines, making the room unusable? Like, it's not like she was gone for years and like vines could have taken over the room. It's like all of
Right,
the
right.
sudden, like, it's unusable. So,
Yes, I
yeah.
would imagine it happening quickly. And
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I guess this is sad. I feel like the overgrown vines and the thorns feels more poignant and devastating to me, but then the
Mhm.
smashed and shredded bedding makes it sinister. So,
Right.
like, oh great, Tamlin can control his emotions. He was like having a temper tantrum in here. Which I mean, I'm sure he was freaking the fuck out. He really he needs to
Yes.
protect Feyre and she got taken away. Um
Right.
but yeah, so I feel like if there was just the vines and the thorns, I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks." But then it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you
Oh,
also destroyed
destroyed.
the room in a fit of
Right.
rage." So, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So now Feyre is staying in the room directly across from Lucian. After she's changed, Lucian is waiting for her in the hallway, and he's surprised that Feyre is willing to talk to Ianthe. After Rhys's mind revelation in the last book, Feyre understands Lucian's distress and reluctance towards Ianthe a little bit better. She's not really ready for this confrontation, for the mask that she'll have to wear throughout, but it's all part of the plan. Lucian feels like Ianthe is going to try to spin her story and warns Feyre, but she's trying to sound diplomatic and tells Lucian that she's willing to hear Ianthe out. Lucian is very suspicious of Feyre's lack of concern around her sisters being dragged into this. Yeah. And
Yeah. So out
and
of character.
it's bizarre. Um, but Feyre says that she's smarter than taking whatever Ianthe says at face value. He tries to then ask Feyre where she thinks Rhys is keeping her sisters, but Feyre says there's just so many places they could be that she's not sure. Lucian wants a full list of, of where they could be, but Feyre argues that he'll die if he tries to set a foot into the Night Court. She argues that he doesn't even know Elaine. It's just the mating bond making him go goo goo gaga over her. He asks her if that's what happened with her in Reese, but there's no way that they're going to talk about that right now.
Yeah. I was liking this version of Lucian, though. He's, like, much less passive. He doesn't
More,
he
more
just seems
confrontational. Yeah,
right, more on the same page as, like, the real Feyre, not
right,
the, facade she has going right now.
right, right.
And he's like, "Hey, snap the fuck out of it. Like, tell me the truth."
Like, what is going on with you? You are being so weird. Tell me what is actually
Mhm.
going on, right?
Yeah.
So they head to the meeting with Lucian keeping a close eye on her, and Feyre all the while thinking about the best way to shred Ianthe to pieces. When they arrive, Ianthe is trying to act all demure and reticent about her role and what happened to Elaine and Nesta. Ianthe says, I acted out of desire to grant what I believe you perhaps yearned for, but did not dare voice, while also keeping our allies with Hybern satisfied with our allegiance. Mine and Feyre's bullshit meter is going off the charts with this.
Right? I was like, "Actually, go fuck yourself." There's so many crazy aspects of this, and we know she's lying, duh, but if Ianthe actually believed Feyre wanted that, she would be the stupidest one, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of stupid people in these books.
Yes. I mean, I totally agree. Like, what makes Ianthe think that having Feyre's sisters turn like what made her think that using that as an excuse would have made Feyre happy? I just
Right,
don't
I
understand the
mean
thought process behind that.
right,
So,
and just think like, "I thought you wanted it, but you just would never say it out loud." Um, I don't know,
what?
it's just dumb. I mean, I guess it is a good angle, right? Like,
Sure.
Feyre
If you're
might
trying to come up
actually have secretly been hoping for that if she wasn't so obsessed with, like, keeping them safe at all costs, and
right. Well,
that's her
and
only
like
motivation to do anything,
exactly.
really.
Exactly. And I mean, Feyre has the same questions we do. She's like, why would I ever wish for my sisters to endure that? Ianthe tries to claim that, well, see, isn't this better now that we know that Elaine is Lucian's mate and they're going to have more time together? Like, she won't be dead in, 20 years maybe from some random illness and they're going to have a
Right.
whole immortal lifetime together.
Bombastic side-eye,
Right.
Ianthe.
Lucian and Feyre essentially respond with a massive nope in unison. That is not what they would have wanted to happen. Tamlin is trying to allow them to tell Ianthe how they feel, but he's also giving them looks like, can't we just all get along now? Like, Tamlin still trusts Ianthe for some reason after everything, and I really don't understand why.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they are childhood friends, I kinda forgot about that, but I'm also wanna know, what is Tamlin really getting out of his relationship with Ianthe?
Hmm.
What's her purpose? I know she's an advisor and, like, religious leaders are always important and influential, but you'd think Tamlin would have, like, eaten her by now or something after that stunt she pulled. He's trying to get back in with Feyre, and Ianthe is fucking it up.
Exactly. Exactly. Ianthe goes on that she was just trying to do what was best for everyone in their alliance. And Lucian asks her at what cost to others did she make this decision. He has to be careful with his wording because now they know that Ianthe is in cahoots with Hybern. But he tells them that they should be careful where they place trust. Tamlin says, we've already agreed to certain conditions, sacrifices. If we break apart now, even with Hybern as an ally, we have to present as a solid front together. What? He's lost it while Feyre's gone. Like, he went to the most absolute desperate measures. He's talking about these conditions and sacrifices that they agreed to. But it was just him that
Right,
is
right.
now making his entire court be in danger, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's always been, like, united front, gung ho
Mhm.
dude, but yes, the thought of being like, "Listen, this is what we agreed to with Hybern." It's like, "Excuse me? Excuse me? Baking powder?" Um, and yeah, so I mean, it does feel like Tamlin really does love Feyre in his sick, twisted, controlling way, so I do feel
Mhm.
bad for him in that sense. Uh, and I'm just like, is he a himbo? Like, why doesn't he understand anything?
I
And,
know.
he just seems like weirdly trusting and gullible.
Right, right.
He
Like,
can't see Ianthe and Feyre for what they really are, and he thinks that Hybern's gonna keep their promises? Like, dude.
I know. Feyre agrees with Lucian and asks how the Fae of the Spring Court are going to feel hosting Hybern after still recovering from Amarantha. Tamlin claims that his people's protection was part of the bargain. But didn't Hybern already show you his true colors? He doesn't give a flying fuck what kind of agreement you've come to. He is going to do whatever he wants. Like you just said,
Right.
he's not trustworthy. Why are you
Yeah.
placing your trust in this? Yeah.
Yeah, we watched it happen. He was like, I don't care, Tamlin. Here's this new thing that I'm doing that I didn't tell you about. And it's a good point here. Amarantha was a minion of Hybern and everyone hated her and you just killed her. And now you are like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, now you're aligning
Amarantha's
yourself.
master. Why don't you come here? Sounds good.
Wild. Yeah. However, Tamlin does admit that he advised his people in the western part of the territory to head east. Feyre files that information away, and then Tamlin brings up the other reason that he wanted the four of them to chat. Jurian is coming tomorrow.
Jurian.
Feyre can't believe that Lucian and Tamlin can't see that Jurian has totally lost his marbles, but they also don't appear to be super concerned about the fact that Hybern has the power of the cauldron right now either.
I also think it's weird that Tamlin doesn't care about the wall coming down when his court borders it. Like, I know humans are weak, blah, 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 but still it leaves your entire southern border exposed to attack when it wasn't before. But then I was also thinking maybe he's just thinking they'll absorb that land and it'll all become part of the Spring Court. Like the humans won't be able to
do anything about it.
Peacefully and
coexist.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was revealed that the cauldron needed to recoup its powers after turning Feyre's sisters into Fae. So, like, my first thought was, did Nesta go in there and really fuck it up? Like,
yeah, I didn't think about that, but I was like, ooh. But yeah, I think they've talked about it before, though, like the cauldron needing to regroup. Like maybe when Jurian, when they were speculating about like him getting made or something, but which also I'm like,
oh, sure.
Really? The cauldron needs to recharge? It's the fucking cauldron. It created the world and stuff.
Like, that's what I thought of. Like, it turned two human girls Fae, and
right
now it's not working correctly. Remember, its feet were removed and they kind of janky reattached them or something.
Right,
Who knows if it's
she's
really
old.
working. Yeah.
She's an old little
cauldron.
Yeah, I know. She's like
poor old cauldron.
One of those what is the kind of oh my god, the pan that you make that you can never wash with water?
Oh,
and
like a cast iron?
Yes.
Yes.
And they get all caked with like weird stuff. Yeah. She needs like a restoration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all helpful to Feyre, though. She can hopefully find out how long it takes the cauldron to regain its full strength and also find out where they're going to try to take the wall down. Tamlin has so far agreed to allow Feyre to be present for meetings and help in the decision-making process, so her spying hopefully can be taken to full advantage once Jurian arrives. Feyre has been fearful to use the mating bond if it could still be sensed or scented, like smelled. Tamlin and Lucian believe that with time, Rhys's scent will fade, so she knows that the clock is truly ticking on the amount of time she has to pull off this ruse. Like, she can't just hang out there forever. They're going to be like, can't be 6 months down the road, and why is your mating bond still so stinky?
Still smell. Yeah, that's gross. You'd think too, like more would be known about how mating bonds work. Where are the mating bond scholars?
I know, nobody seems to know anything about mating bonds.
I know, and it like happens all the time, and it's so important. And like, what? Why does it?
But nobody knows anything.
Research that.
I know. Feyre has only briefly messaged Rhys that she was safe when she first arrived, and he confirmed everyone was safe and healing in the night court as well. It's her mantra to get her through each day and to help her focus and best execute her plan to dismantle the Spring Court. She's just thinking, they're safe. They're okay. Everyone's healing. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. Jurian arrives with 2 Hybern commanders, Prince Dagden and Princess Branna, who are niece and nephew to Hybern. They are twins, and they are weird as fuck, let me tell you. Feyre does her best to keep her composure and wills ice into her veins while she thinks about how Tamlin sold out not only his court, but all of Prythian just to get her back. The siblings ask to share a room, because what the fuck? I mean, we've talked about this. These are massive manors and palaces. They don't need to share a room.
Right. It's
There's
giving.
plenty.
Also, like the weird twins from Twilight, whatever Dakota
Oh,
Fanning's character's name was.
yeah.
Was it like, I
Oh
think it
my
was
gosh.
Jane.
I
That's what
think
I'm
you're right.
imagining
Mm-hmm.
is Dakota Fanning. And also, if I was a twin, I'd be kind of pissed. Twins are always portrayed as like weirdly incestuous and like evil.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this isn't fair. We're fine. We're
But
nice
then
people.
sometimes, like, you hear about them, like, coming up with their own language and, like,
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? So then you're kind of like, oh, twins are
They're
kind of.
just other, yeah.
They, yes, yeah. Princess Branna looks Feyre over. Feyre is dressed up in her pretty dress with her pretty hair, like she's just a pretty little plaything for Tamlin. Oh, little do they know what's hiding underneath. Tamlin does not like them looking at Feyre, but Jurian is like, come on, they're just so curious about the woman that launched a war. I'm like, Helena Troy, is that you? Like, I feel like that's Feyre kind of right now.
I also feel like, yes, a little bit, but I'm also, that's giving her a lot of credit. Like, I feel
Right.
like this would have happened anyway.
Mm-hmm. It
He
just,
wanted to start the war, but yeah, I guess as it stands, she was the impetus that let
mm-hmm.
Hybern in. Maybe the reason the king resurrected Jurian. Who knows? So yes,
Right.
Helen of Troy, Helen of
Yes.
Prithian.
Helen of Prithian. Feyre of Prithian
Yeah.
instead of Helen of Troy. Yes. Feyre claps back at Jurian with, perhaps if you'd bother going to war over Miriam, she wouldn't have left you for Prince Draken. Oh, I need some ointment for that burn, Feyre. Ouch!
Yeah, my note was also just burn.
Burn. Jurian says back, careful what you say, girl. Feyre responds, or what? You'll throw me in the cauldron? It's like, oh, snaps for
Right.
Feyre.
You played your hand too early, dude.
Mm-hmm. It's a little tense after that comment, but they head inside. Feyre notes that there are less servants and courtiers from before, as she had explained to Tamlin that Azriel has an extensive spy network. She just maybe forgot to mention that he had already pulled his spies from the Spring Court a while ago. So Tamlin had dismissed all but his most trusted courtesans. Good thing for Feyre to have less eyes on her. They head to the dining room, and Feyre tells Jurian the first rule of his visit is to not threaten her in her own home. Tamlin brushes her cheek in approval, and all Feyre can think is good. Let him think I still love him.
Right. She can turn everyone against each other without Tamlin suspecting anything. So simple.
Maybe Tamlin is a himbo.
I'm telling you. He is blonde.
Yes. Yeah. Prince Dagden, in a very icky way, defers to Princess Branna in all things and dotes on her and lets her speak for both of them. Feyre thinks they may also have Daemati powers, as there were strange, quiet points and lulls in the conversation where it seemed that they could have been having their own internal conversation. They want to be taken to the wall with Jurian so they can be shown where the holes are located. Feyre volunteers Lucian and herself to show them, and when she expects pushback from Tamlin, he actually agrees. Feyre just kind of sits there nodding slowly, like Tamlin knows she's never going to be okay with the Fae being that close to humans, but showing that she's trying to get things back to normal for their relationship. So she's trying to like be agreeable and like work with him, kind of, I guess. Jurian makes a comment about Lucian's eye and wonders who fashioned the new mechanical one for him. Though Feyre is furious, she plays her role and shifts awkwardly and looks away, because we know Amarantha took Lucian's eye, and Amarantha has not been brought up once since she has returned from Hybern. Lucian reveals that a female friend in the Dawn Court who's good with magic and machinery made it for him. Jurian is just trying to bait him. He's like, ooh, does your mate have a rival? Speaking of Elaine, are you sure she's not going to be ruined by the Illyrians?
This pissed me off. Because one, Jurian's just being annoying on purpose. And two, also the implication that Elaine wouldn't be worth Lucian anymore after she has been raped is just fucked
horrible.
up. Which
Yeah.
I don't really need to spell that out, but still.
It's worth making that comment because it's, yeah. Tamlin is getting truly tired of the antics and tells Jurian if he can't behave, he can sleep in the stables with the rest of the beasts. Jurian claims Tamlin doesn't know what the Illyrians are capable of. Remember, he fought with them in the war to free the humans. And Prince Dagden just decides to pipe up here that they kept the wings of the Illyrian generals as trophies after they had killed them in the war. Speaking of, Feyre has tried to go looking for Rhys's mom's and sister's wings, but she has yet to be successful in finding them anywhere in the manor. This reminds Jurian that he has a question for Feyre, too. Does she have any clue where Rhys's friends Miriam and Draken are? She uses the same story that they're dead, but Jurian reveals that the cauldron says otherwise. AKA, he tried to use the cauldron to resurrect Miriam, but you can't resurrect someone who's still alive. So,
Yeah.
yikes.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Feyre's just like, well, I don't know. That's what I was told. Why are you still so hung up on someone who jilted you? Jurian insinuates that Feyre was fucking Rhys even before he, quote unquote, captured her when Feyre senses it. This is all just a trap to get Tamlin, Lucian, and her riled up so that those creepy twins can try to infiltrate their minds. Feyre's mental shields are firmly in place, and when she casts her shadows to check in on Lucian and Tamlin, she sees that theirs are not, and she erects a wall of night to protect them from the, quote unquote, oily tendrils of the twins' power heading their way.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that Lucian and Tamlin don't guard their minds.
Yeah.
What? Why don't you know how to do? You're a high lord and his emissary going
And
all
you've
around.
And you've never met these two Hybern leaders. I
Right.
understand, like, maybe if Tamlin was, like, implicitly trusting them, but, like, why wouldn't Lucian at least have been,
I mean, it's almost
like, trying to protect? I don't yeah,
right. That almost implies to me that they can't do it.
sure. Which but
And
Rhys said that they all learn how because even though Daemati are rare, they're not, like, 1 in a
right.
million.
Well, or
Like,
maybe I don't know if he said everybody, but like
oh,
you should or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
And then with that being said, if they don't have mental shields, why isn't Feyre just reading their minds all the time? And she could get the actual story from Tamlin and she could tell us what it is. That'd be cool.
Right. I know. And then I think though there was talk in the last book when Rhys was kind of explaining their powers or that specific power to her that he talked about like potentially getting trapped in someone else's mind, like they could lock you in their
Right.
own mind, like if they found you. And
Right.
so it's like, is
But
she just being
again,
ultra
if you have a
cautious? Yeah.
shield,
Yeah. But I think that like your mind is your own. So it's like you protect a shield to protect your own mind. But I think her presence would always be known in their minds. Like she can't use her power because it's not like they're just telegraphing their thoughts out into the
right. She'd
wild.
have
I
to
think she
go
like has to
in.
actually go in.
Yeah.
And I think
But
it's
she's read Lucian's mind before and he didn't know when
that's
she
true.
read it at the table.
Yeah, she jumped in for like 2 seconds and then
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it has to do with intention, what you're looking for, if it can
Right.
I don't know. I want some more information
Yeah.
on the
Plot.
mind stuff.
Hashtag plot hole.
Yes. The twins are physically pushed back from Feyre's abrupt defense and they eye her. Tamlin asks what's wrong. So this just brings back to the point like Tamlin and Lucian apparently did not notice that Feyre did this either, like to protect their minds. So that's kind of an interesting point like you're making too. Like obviously some people are just not as attuned to that going on potentially. So
Mhm.
it's just kind of a weird thing. But Feyre just plays dumb and says that she's not sure what's going on, but their guests must be tired from their journey. Keeping her eyes locked on theirs, she slams her own mental black talons to be met with a wall of white bone. We talked about this forever ago, but I think that the Daemati powers manifest however the person wielding them envisions them. The white bone of the Hybern commanders, we know he's got the
Mhm.
white palace and he's got the throne of bones or whatever. Um, it's just interesting that's different. She thinks of herself as having black talons, but that's also what Reese's are like. So is she imitating him? Like, it's just interesting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Feyre shouldn't have given away that she's a Daemati to the creepy
Right.
twins. Like,
You know,
again, I think you can have mental shields and not be one because,
yeah.
like, Amarantha had mental shields. Reese
Right.
couldn't infiltrate her mind, but she also couldn't read people's minds.
Right, or, like, at this point, why did she not just help enforce their mental shields and then leave things alone? Like, they could have
Exactly.
just thought
Right.
that
She didn't. Yeah. She
they
like
had their
gave it
shields
away
up.
to be
Yeah,
like, hey, motherfucker,
yeah.
I'm a Daemati too.
Needless to say, nobody speaks for the rest of the meal.
Awkward.
Oh, yes. So it's the next day. The woods fall silent on their ride to the wall, almost as if Jurian and the prince and princess are just as awful as all the other scary fae, like the bog and the naga. Lucian indicates up ahead where the first hole in the wall is, and Brenna asks who made the hole. Lucian explains that he's not sure. Some small holes have just appeared over the centuries. Feyre volunteers that this is the entrance that she went through, and then she kind of sidles up next to Lucian, kind of pretending that she needs his protection from the weirdo, twins, and that princess, she just eats it right up. Feyre, yes, make them think that you're the same simpering, pathetic little female that you were before. Lucian says that there are 4 holes that they're aware of in their territory. 3 are along the border, and 1 is out to sea. The sea one won't do Hybern any good, Branna says, which Feyre's like, okay, that's good information to hold on to. And Lucian's like, surely if these holes are here, there are holes on the continent as well. Dagden responds, their queens have an even weaker grasp on their people than you do, which is like, then why don't you take the path of least resistance? The queens have already agreed to help you with taking down the wall. Why do you even need access in Prithian? Does it have something to do with the cauldron's powers, movability, effectiveness? Does Hybern only want to take over Prithian first because he believes that's easier before launching his attack to take over the world? Very Pinky in the brain moment right here.
What are we going to do tonight, brain?
We're going to take over the world.
Yeah. I was also confused because then I was wondering if maybe Dagden was talking about Fae queens, since this quote is implying that Prithian doesn't have a good grasp on its people. Like he's talking to them about it. Like, why would he say you don't have a good grasp on your people when if it wasn't Fae? And then, but then I was like, wait, what? And then if they have an even weaker grasp, why not go there? But it is further away from Hybern.
Right.
Prithian's right there in the middle. And if you can have one victory, maybe keep the momentum going, then they'd also have a closer hub to like the continent.
Right. And also
that they can attack from.
Maybe they feel like Prithian is easier to conquer, so then it's just like a nice stepping stone to.
Yeah. And they're already kind of in like turmoil after Amarantha bullshit. Also, so are the mortal queens, is their palace on the continent? Like I always kind of assumed it was all taking place on Prithian, but now I guess it's not.
I think
there's not really space in Prithian.
Right. It's on the continent.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess he has to be talking about the mortal queens. Those are really the only queens we know of. It just doesn't. Yeah. And that sentence, it's like, what? Like there are holes on the continent as well. And his response is, their queens have an even weaker grasp on their people than you do. And that's like the end of that conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? That means what?
I know.
I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense. Or the reasoning, or like that is a weird explanation to give for what they're doing. Like it doesn't
and it's like,
actually answer
what?
Okay, yeah. The twins ask where the other holes are, and Lucian explains the next one is a 2-day ride away. Then the next one is another 2-day ride again after that. Feyre is like, can't you guys winnow? Brenna is embarrassed. Apparently, she cannot winnow, and Dagden admits he can, but only short distances, especially if he's taking someone with him. So they're maybe not as powerful as they're pretending to be. Rhys and Moore can winnow from the Night Court all the way to the coast of Hybern in one jump.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
a good point. That's far.
Yeah, that's far.
That's far. And they can carry people while they do it.
Like two people. It seems like, at least. So,
right.
Lucian and Feyre go to sit on a rock while the others examine the wall. Lucian says to Feyre that she needs to be careful. Whatever she's scheming could get them into a lot of trouble. She's like, oh, who, moi? Don't you trust me after all that we've been through? She asks Lucian which side he would have been on during the war. He says he would have been on the side with the humans, especially if his father was on the other side. Quick side note, though, Feyre does remember in her teachings with Rhys that Baron was in an alliance with the humans along with him and, all the rest of them. So she's like, what the fuck are you doing now? Why are you ready to march with Hybern if you just said you would have sided with the humans? Lucian tries to claim it was to help Feyre, to save her from Rhys's clutches. And she says, wow, I never realized what a powerful motivator guilt could be for you.
Right. And also, there had to be another way. What other
Yeah.
avenues did you actually try before
I
you
mean,
resulted to the most extreme one?
besides like going and trying to take Feyre against her will in the
Right.
forest.
But yeah, like, did you write a letter back to her? Could you know Rhys? Like, I mean, I know you don't have a great relationship, but I bet you could have like tried to meet with him to talk.
Right. What? Yeah, exactly. And if he did actually do that, why isn't it brought up here that they did do other things? You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right, right.
what all
Yeah.
did you try? Because it doesn't seem like you tried very hard to do a whole
Yeah.
lot of other things. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Lucian fires back that he got back to the manor before Tamlin that day that she was taken. What happened to her wedding ring? Feyre tells him it melted off in the middle of her meltdown, but he doesn't seem to believe her.
Right. Well, she tells him it melted, but she says they melted it off.
Oh,
Like
like,
Moore did, who
mhm.
abducted her. She's still trying to keep that
Oh, those
ruse
extra powers and stuff
going.
probably under
Right,
wraps.
right.
Yeah.
But are like, I didn't melt it off. I didn't want to be taken or to, not have the ring anymore. It was
Yeah.
melted off of me. And yeah, Solution's suspicious of her. And I'm also annoyed that he hid it from Tamlin.
Mhm.
Why are we trying to protect him? If he really knew the truth and knew Feyre was done or she left voluntarily, like maybe that could have prevented a lot of things.
Mhm. Yeah. Like, Tamlin might have been heartbroken in the moment, but it
Right.
would have not it was the domino effect. I mean,
Right. Right.
he was still the cause of all of
Oh,
this
yeah,
happening,
100%.
so,
But,
but
like,
yeah.
understanding that, like, she really left. She doesn't
Right,
wanna be here, and
right.
he.
So, in all of this conversation, Feyre does admit to Lucian that she appreciates him coming to Hybern to save her. Even if she didn't actually need to be saved, she appreciates him doing so. He admits that it didn't turn out the way any of them had wanted to, and they can both agree that this situation is terrible. She goes to ask him if he knows or understands Hybern's true motivations, and it looks like he's kind of maybe getting ready to answer when they're interrupted by the Three Musketeers. They're sitting so close to one another, and Jurian comments that Lucian should watch out. Bad things happen to those who touch High Lord's property. Eh, I don't know why Jurian is just so confrontational, but
Right. Well,
um
hey, he's just happy to not be an eyeball anymore, I bet.
that's true. He's like, didn't get to say anything in
Yeah, yeah, he's like,
500
"I have
years.
a
I got a lot.
lot to say."
But I just love that Feyre really is setting the scene and trying to make everyone think that something might be going on between her
Mhm.
and Lucian. Hmm.
Yeah.
They arrive back at the manor to Ianthe waiting for them in the stables. Lucian helps Feyre down off of her horse, and there's this little smirk and bow, and Feyre admits that it's sometimes hard to remember to hate him. And this all just feels very reminiscent of their friendship in ACOTAR in book one, her and Lucian.
Mhm. Plus, Lucian's actually being cool right now. He's much more on Feyre's side than he was in, like, part 1 of Mist and Fury.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's been disillusioned a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And also, I mean, maybe has the secondary motivation of just trying to get to Elaine. Like he knows that Feyre is probably the only way that
Right,
he's
right,
going to be
right.
able to get to her too.
Yeah,
So,
but they've always been friends, and I think that it's harder for her to trick him because he knows her the best out of
right.
anybody here,
Hmm.
and so
Yeah.
he's just like, "When are you gonna stop?"
Pretending.
Yeah, like, "Just tell me the truth."
Yeah, but then
Um,
she's like, "I don't know if I could trust you.
yeah.
I can't tell you everything."
Right, right,
Yeah.
right, and I feel like Lucian was kind of I mean, we don't know, but he seems more, like, dragged along for the ride. Like, we know that he didn't always agree with Tamlin, he would push back, but he just was always squashed, and he,
Right.
just, like,
Very true.
acquiesced, I guess, or whatever, so
Mhm.
there's that too.
Yeah. So this part made me laugh really hard that's coming up. Ianthe had made a big grand entrance to meet Jurian and the prince and princess earlier that morning, but they were less than impressed by her, and they essentially ignored her all through breakfast. So Ianthe is trying to gain some more footing with them, and Feyre tells Ianthe that it seems like their trip to the wall was successful and they found what they were looking for. But then, like, her internal monologue is she's like, I didn't ask too many questions because I think they're already a little suspicious of me, so didn't ask
Mhm.
too much. Ianthe wants to set up a little ceremony and celebration for summer solstice. Can she steal Feyre away for a little bit? Feyre agrees, and Lucien escorts her inside. He's been treating Ianthe even more coldly since Feyre's return, and she asks him if something else besides what happened to Elaine is what's, got him treating her that way. Did Ianthe and Tamlin do the deed while she was gone? No, it wasn't that. Tamlin couldn't bear to participate in Cal and Mai, so he made Lucien do it, and Ianthe forced herself to be chosen. So she's the worst.
Yeah. There's so
Poor
right.
Lucien.
And I was like, how do I feel about Tamlin sitting out of Cal and Mai? Also, I didn't know that anybody could just be the hunter and do it. I thought it had to be the High Lord. Lucian's not even, he's like an autumn person
Yeah.
too. He's not even a spring person.
Yeah.
And I also thought the magic chose who the maiden was. The magic picked the best one or whatever.
And what's weird with that, though, is that, like, if you remember from Cal and Mai in the first book, when, like, if they're talking about it, it's all these high fae women hoping to get chosen, which makes me think that, like,
Right.
there's magic involved, but there's also a little bit of other,
Yeah.
like, there's other things that are kind of happening.
Right.
And I think that if we don't really know what Ianthe's like powers are, but I'm wondering if she like guided the magic
Yeah.
to select
Right.
her.
And Tamlin
You know
had
what I
said,
mean?
like, when he smelled Feyre, he couldn't find her. Then the magic made him pick another. So it doesn't
Right.
really, I guess it doesn't say explicitly, like, the magic chose the person. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Tamlin, I mean, because it would make sense. Like, Tamlin would have preferred Feyre
Mm-hmm.
and he would have picked her if she was present. But he still had to pick somebody. The magic made him
Right.
pick somebody. So he just decided on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's kind of Lucien asks Feyre not to tell Elaine about it. Feyre tells Lucien, I won't tell anyone unless you say so. The weight of that jeweled knife and belt seemed to grow. She's wearing the knife and the belt that Lucien had gifted her way long time ago when she first arrived in the Spring Court. I wish I had been there to stop it. I should have been there to stop it. I meant every word. Lucien squeezed our linked arms as we rounded a hedge, the house rising up before us. You are a better friend to me, Feyre, he had said quietly, than I ever was to you.
Lucien, you poor little baby. I
I
like him
know.
right now. Also,
I
don't worry
know.
about Elaine. You guys weren't mated then. Also, I don't think Elaine will give a fuck that you slept with somebody else.
No, I really don't think so either. Like, no offense. But
Right.
I mean, that's like going into a new relationship and being like, well,
Sorry.
you had sex with someone before me.
Right.
So it's never gonna work. So I don't know. So we're going to cut to Alice helping Feyre get ready for the summer solstice. And she's making comments about how there's not much fabric left to let out the dresses that they had taken in for Feyre when she was depressed and super skinny. So all of her dresses got super, super tiny. And now she's like healthy again and they got to be let out, apparently.
Yeah.
Feyre knows that Alice knows something isn't quite adding up. Alice gets out some of the night court matching sets that somehow had survived Tamlin's wrath, and she's like, would you like to wear these? Like,
so funny. Alice just being testy.
she is. Oh, she's so funny. Feyre's taken aback and she tries to backpedal but doesn't know how to respond. Alice reveals that she was the one who had asked Moore to take care of Feyre and that she still knows some servants in the summer court, and she's aware of the light and the happiness that she had when she had visited there with Rhys and Amryn.
Alice also says that she never heard of Rhys laying a hand on servants under the mountain. Guards, Amarantha's cronies, those he was ordered to kill, sure, but never those unable to defend themselves. And Alice, she's another person that hid the truth from Tamlin. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't have taken it well, but Alice knew Feyre wasn't abducted. She was rescued, and Alice supported said rescue.
Exactly. If you remember back in book 2 when Moore arrived, someone was talking to Moore and telling them to take care of Feyre and, that kind of stuff. And it was Alice.
Yep.
Yep. Feyre really is trying to maintain the ruse, but Alice says to her, they say that you came back different, came back wrong. I never bothered to tell them that I think you came back right, that you came back right at last.
Alice, the girl's girl.
She
Yay.
is. She can tell. She sees it. It's always like your handmaiden, your ladies in waiting. They know the
Right,
true
right,
you
right, right.
more than the man in your life, for sure.
Duh.
Feyre insists that Rhys made her behave that way, but Alice just rolls her eyes and offers Feyre a pretty white gown that was intended as part of the wedding celebrations to try for the solstice instead. Ianthe forces everyone to get up before dawn to properly celebrate the longest day of the year, and no one likes it. Feyre wonders how the summer court celebrates this holiday and notes that besides Alice, there have been no other rumblings about her field trip with Rhys. So just Feyre's like, okay, Alice brought that up, but I'm also really glad that like apparently nobody else knows that I
Right,
was
right,
there.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Tarquin could be, selling
because
that information or something.
I mean she's got a blood ruby on her head, so how
Right.
that's not widely known. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Yeah, the really serious blood ruby that everyone's worried about.
that Amryn uses as a paperweight. It's
Yeah, right.
really, really big deal. As Feyre is riding her horse to the ceremony, she's thinking about how happy she was last year on this day with Tamlin. We've talked about how not very much time has actually passed, but her dancing with fiddling Tamlin was only a year ago?
I forgot about the fiddling. Ah, you sweet summer solstice child.
Right. Uh, Feyre wonders if Tamlin remembers the same thing about that day. He escorts her towards Ianthe and the altar, and she looks down to her naked finger that Tamlin's ring used to sit on. He hasn't asked what happened to it, and apparently Alice and Lucian haven't given him the full story of what happened that day either. Feyre thinks, I pitied that not only Lucian had lied to him, but Alice as well. How many had seen the truth of my suffering and tried to spare him from it? Seen my suffering and done nothing to help me. Exactly. No one did shit, Feyre. Keep putting the blame where it actually belongs.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. It's like, why are
Yeah.
Tamlin's feelings more important? And and look what you may have been able to prevent by being truthful instead of
Right.
protecting him for whatever reason and like
Hmm.
feeding into his delusions.
Exactly. The prince and princess are less than thrilled for the pomp and ceremony and have alluded that this will be the last time for these frivolous celebrations once Hybern has arrived. They're not even trying to hide their agenda and what their plans are.
Yeah.
It's
You're here to
ridiculous.
conquer, not assimilate.
Hmm. And like they're blatant about it. I don't know. Anyway.
Mhm.
Feyre seems to be the only one clocking their true intentions besides us. And I don't know why Lucian is still going along with all of it.
He's, like, stuck, though. I
I
mean,
know.
I feel like he doesn't really have a lot of actual power.
Options.
He's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. He's like, well, Tamlin's my friend, and I can't go home to my
Mhm.
real court. He's kind of homeless.
Right.
Poor Lucian. Yeah. So
Mhm.
Ianthe starts the ceremony with having the prince and princess bless the wine, which they all roll their eyes about, but oblige. Ianthe spouts some nonsense about making their new allies friends and to wash away the endless night of the year to celebrate the longest day, blah, blah, blah. Feyre was sure to let Ianthe know how much the prince and princess despise these ceremonies, so Ianthe doubled down and wants to convert them to her cause by going over the top with her prayers and rituals. She invites Jurian and Tamlin to participate as well, while Feyre and Lucian are off to the side. Lucian starts making glances at Feyre. He knows that she helped Ianthe with the planning of the ceremony and is looking back to where the sun is about to rise. Ianthe steps in place at the crest of the hill and raises her arms, closes her eyes, and arches her back to receive the first rays of the sun, just like she did on winter solstice, to have the sun go directly between her palms. But the sun doesn't shine bright through her hands. No, it's shining directly behind Feyre's head. And Feyre and Feyre releases some of the day court glow that she to really sell the ceremonial side of this. This is hilarious to
Yeah,
me.
so good.
Ah, exactly. The whole crowd is murmuring, and Ianthe finally realizes that they're saying Cursebreaker, blessed, and they're actually talking about Feyre, not her. Ianthe is
Mhm.
scrambling, trying to regain control, and Lucian, the little shit, bows down. to Feyre.
I love it. Just love it so much. Feyre's little knight.
I know, it's so great. Feyre thinks, for in all of Ianthe's preening ceremonies and rituals, never had she revealed any sign of power or blessing. But Feyre Cursebreaker, who led Prithian from tyranny and darkness, bada bing! I'm going to show you how it's done.
Yeah. So good.
Shove it, Ianthe.
Way to go, Feyre.
Mm-hmm. Feyre finally lets her glow dim and acts all surprised that it happened. Feyre used her wind magic before the ceremony started to discreetly move the stone that Ianthe was using as a marker for where to stand when the sun rose and moved it by 5 feet over. And Feyre took the place where she was originally going to stand.
Amazing.
I know, the whole imagery of this, it just cracks me up. The rest of the festivities are less cauldron blessed and more party, with food and dancing and wine like the year before. Ianthe tried to tell anyone who would listen that the cauldron had blessed her chosen friend, and even her acolytes seemed to get bored with her. Oh, Ianthe. Tamlin seems a little sus, like he recognized that light from when they were in Hybern as well, but he's got High Lord things to do and babies to kiss, while Feyre greets and accepts the well wishes of the Spring Court citizens in attendance. Feyre risks sending Rhys a message down the bond. She says, "The longest day of the year. I wish I could spend it with you."
Wee.
Poor Rhys.
Oh.
And she also thinks about how much Rhys would have enjoyed her little performance with Ianthe.
Yeah.
Her and Rhys have a quick conversation through the bond. They let each other know that everything is okay and that she'll hopefully be returning to him soon. She goes back to the festivities and asks Tamlin to dance with her. He seems so relieved that she's asked, and Feyre does her best to keep a happy face through their dancing and thinks, I had to remember to laugh when my hands were within strangling distance of his throat. And I'm like, she has got to be
Do it. I dare you. I dare you, Feyre.
I'm just surprised. I didn't know that Feyre was that good of an actress. Like, that she could be fooling him so well is just wild to me.
Right. I wonder how it really
I know how it looked. Or maybe everyone else saw it, but Tamlin, I don't
right.
know.
Like,
I
poor
kinda get that
Tamlin. He's just an idiot, I
idiot
think. I think he's
who makes really bad
dumb.
decisions. So he
Yeah.
kind of deserves the outcome. But,
Right. I just think he's a dummy.
he is. Tamlin gently asks Feyre if she's okay with how the ceremony went that morning, and Feyre's like, I'm fine, but is Ianthe mad at me? Tamlin says that if Ianthe is mad, she shouldn't be. Magic has its own surprises. It's hardly Feyre's fault. Feyre, I know, which I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Yes. Feyre leans in close to him and wonders how Rhys did this for 50 years with Amarantha.
Seriously. And he hated Amarantha more than Feyre hates Tamlin right now, for sure.
Yeah.
He had to.
Definitely. Yeah. Feyre asked Tamlin about the riot on Calanmai, and he confirms that he couldn't stomach it. But she thinks, and yet you could stomach making a deal with Hybern as if I were a stolen item to be returned. Which, yes, freaking finally. I'm so glad we're having these thoughts right now.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
she can't believe that he made Lucian do it instead.
Mm-hmm.
Feyre looks up to the stars, her only true friends here in the Spring Court as the celebration ends.
Yeah.
She's
And
sad.
going back to that, like, I'm just thinking more about Tamlin and, like, how he's, I guess, so dumb and, like, thinks Feyre still loves, and I don't know. The miscommunication trope between Feyre and Tamlin is a little tired at this point.
Yeah.
Like, if you could have just actually told him in real that you didn't like him anymore, but instead you
Right.
were just living in your weird fake guilt and, like,
Right.
putting that off, you could have done a much better job of. She could have
Actually,
probably even arranged a meeting with him where she would have been safe and to tell him in person that, like, "I don't like you anymore, Tamlin." Although maybe he would never have believed it no matter what, but
I know, like, bring more with her instead of, like,
yeah.
any of the Bat Boys or just
Oh, yeah, the truth
right.
lady.
The truth lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like there could have been more done on both of their sides to, like,
end it.
express that this relationship was over. He could have tried
Mhm.
harder to find out the truth. She could have actually told him the truth, which she
Right.
never really did.
Yeah, yeah, your letter, I will never get over her letter
Yeah.
that she is
'Cause
just so confident was so believable.
right, and even that didn't address I mean, yeah, it
Yeah,
was so dumb, and anybody could have written that. Um, and I still
yeah.
didn't think was she ever like, "I don't love you anymore, and it's over?" I can't even remember
Right.
what she said. It was just like, "I'm
She just
fine,
said
and I'm
it
not
was,
coming home."
"I'm safe and I'm not coming back.
Yeah, it's like,
Don't come looking for me."
"Okay."
That sounds like we joked about, like,
Right.
blink twice if you actually need me
Yeah,
to come
yeah,
save
yeah,
you.
yeah. Oh,
Oh my
man,
god.
alright.
Feyre is exhausted by the end of the night and asks Lucian to escort her to her room. Tamlin was making eyes at Feyre, and with Lucian's newly found mate, he didn't have any interest in any of the females in attendance, so he was a safe option to escort her back to the manor. Feyre is having a hard time sleeping and is dreaming? Question about the adder and the cauldron and her sisters when she wakes frantically and decides to go knock on Lucian's door. He's right across the hall now, remember? He said that he heard her startled noise and he's like, "Is everything okay?" He opens his door. He's half naked.
Feyre's also scantily clad.
Hmm. And he appears to have just pulled his pants on. Feyre tells him that she dreams about under the mountain and sometimes has a hard time when waking to remember where and when in time she is. This is only partially true. She still will occasionally have these nightmares, but they're not all consuming anymore. She tells Lucian she was dreaming that she was strung up on the wall like Claire, and the adder was. But she starts crying before she can get the words out. Lucian steps forward to comfort her, and she feels one of her shadow traps triggering a vibration somewhere in the manor. She throws her arms around Lucian and begins to cry. Only these aren't real tears. These are fake tears, and she's using some saltwater gifts from the summer court to make them.
So dumb.
I know. He hugs her back and starts rubbing her back and telling her he's sorry when they're interrupted by Tamlin. He's like, "What is going on here?" Feyre and Lucian quickly separate, and Feyre goes to explain that she was having a nightmare and didn't want to wake everyone up. She has to drag Tamlin from the room, and she just repeats, "I had a nightmare. It's no big deal." Tamlin is still glaring at Lucian's door, and Feyre heads back into her own room and tells Tamlin goodnight as she shuts the door in his face. Feyre had been giving Tamlin shy and gentle touches all day and purposely put on a sassy nightgown and waited for Tamlin to trip her traps and try to come to her room so she could set the scene. She knew he would seek her out that night. She put an air shield around Lucian's room so he wouldn't hear or scent Tamlin coming, and she had purposely left both her and Lucian's doors open for Tamlin to find them together. Diabolical. Reese, is this you making these plans? Like, I didn't think
Right.
Feyre was capable.
I know, I was like, "This does seem advanced for Feyre." They can't communicate, though, so I
Yeah.
don't think he could be like, "Hey, listen, this is what you gotta do."
Here's my plan. Let's see if
Right.
this works. Feyre thinks to herself, a nightmare, I had told Tamlin. I was the nightmare. Evil cackling.
Yeah.
Feyre remembers when she had first come to Prithian as a wee human, Tamlin getting mad at Lucian for flirting with Feyre. So she played onto one of Tamlin's insecurities, and now he's going to start thinking back to every conversation and look Lucian and Feyre have ever shared. Lucian didn't know it, but his little bow during the ceremony played right into her plans. But like I said, I really don't believe that she can come up with these plans, so
Right. I
it's
think I say something about this
surprising.
later too, where I'm
Yeah.
like, "How is she so good at this?"
Right.
Uh, so the next morning at breakfast, it is tense. Lucian and Tamlin kind of made up, but Lucian's carefully avoiding Feyre. A set of keys to the estate has gone missing. But Tamlin's too upset about last night to care. Seems important though, and Feyre, she seems to suspect Jurian, um, but we don't know who took the keys. Ianthe comes in and asks to speak to Tamlin in private, but Feyre pulls the old, "Whatever you need to say to Tamlin, you can say in front of all of us, including Hybern, our wonderful and trustworthy allies." Ianthe reports that Naga are withering the land around her temple and in the woods. No one really takes this information seriously, and Feyre thinks this is clearly a power play by Ianthe after Feyre's little solstice stunt.
Seriously, this feels so contrived in a way for Ianthe to just bring the attention back to herself and to like her goodness and like
Mhm.
her spiritual
Yeah. Right, and they're all just
stuff.
kind of like, "Oh, cool. That's a good story." Um, yeah, so Feyre's like, "Ha ha ha, she's falling perfectly into my trap." Feyre, Lucian, and the evil twins are going to survey the wall that afternoon, and Ianthe asks Tamlin if he's going with. And Tamlin's like, "You know what? I think I will go." But Feyre rebuts with, "I don't need an escort," which we all know is a loaded statement given Tamlin and Fey's history. Feyre
Can we just call them that from now
Yeah.
on when they're together? That's their
Tamalama?
couple name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
Tamalama and Fei.
Farah Farah hasn't felt the Daimati twins trying to get past her barriers anymore, but Farah is kind of wearing herself out trying to shield as many people as possible at the manor. So she thinks it'll be a relief to be away for a few days. Ianthe really wants Tamlin to go, though, apparently, because she says to Tamlin, "Perhaps you should go. You never know when the Night Court will attempt to snatch her away." Farah pretends to be afraid and asks if Ianthe knows something. Um, but Jurian's like, "Rhysand isn't dumb. He's not gonna come here." Ianthe then is like, "Well, he has a vendetta. Tamlin, maybe you should give Rhysand back his mother and sister's wings." Like, what the bitch? Like, Ianthe, she's like, "Here's a pot. Here's my spoon. I'm just stirring that
Burn.
shit up."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Tamlin burned them long ago, and Farrah's pissed at Ianthe for stooping this low. But are we surprised Ianthe would do this? No.
No. And I also think it was a subtle test to see if Feyre reacted at all. Personally, like, I think her
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
that up, I think she was, like, maybe trying to see because I don't think that she trusts Feyre right now either. Like, they might be trying to, quote, unquote,
No.
"make nice" with each other, but I know that she knows that Feyre is really mad at her for what happened to her sisters and stuff. So I think it
Right,
was a
right,
little bit
right.
of a test. And also, like, Tamlin's burned them long ago. Like, Ianthe is supposed to be kind of a young priestess, right? Like, why
For
uh,
everybody else. I
in
wonder
compare
how.
but, like, how long ago did Tamlin do that? Why would she know that they had them, and why you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Right, the
I think it was just kind of a
story.
weird
Yeah,
that
yeah.
she knew or that I don't know.
Right, it
Anyway.
could have happened before because she's only, like, 300 something years old. What if
Mhm,
child? Um, so, yeah, maybe it happened before, or
mhm.
I don't know.
Something, yeah.
And I was like, "For sure, Ianthe knows that Feyre fucked with her at the solstice." She's like, "That didn't just happen on accident. Feyre's not fucking blessed. She moved my rock."
I know. My mark with my X on it to show me where to stand
She moved my
magically got moved?
Yeah,
What? Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Um,
And that's I mean, because that's the other thing. Ianthe may be a pathetic weasel, but she's not stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
right, she's conniving and
yeah, yeah. She knows.
she lays
Mhm,
traps and stuff.
mhm.
She's a spider. In the end, though, Tamlin lets Feyre go without him, but he basically threatens Lucian, um, like, "Don't touch her and don't let anything bad happen." The party winnows/walks to the cleft in the wall. Because of the toll of winnowing multiple people and supplies and stuff, they couldn't bring enough tents. So Feyre and Lucian are in a tent together. A small tent, like a suspiciously small tent. Lucian doesn't like it, but Feyre's like, "Stop being a baby and also stop caving every time Tamlin has a temper tantrum. That'll just make it worse." And Lucian's like, "Maybe it's worse because you two haven't made the beast with two backs yet." And Feyre's like, "I'm a delicate flower that was abused. No one is touching me." And this is pretty shitty to lie about. It's like putting that on Rhys. I don't like that.
And I know, and I'm really torn on this because that was not the original vibe that I got, but then I'm thinking back to the way that Feyre has talked about her time in the Night Court because she has been, like, very careful about her phrasing and about saying what she's done, and she is conjuring these, like, gaps in her memory and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
so she makes it sound like something bad did happen maybe, or it could have, but she
Ye
doesn't remember it. And although I do hate that she's even insinuating that something like that could have happened, I don't know that she actually like explicitly says that that's
I
what
don't
happened.
Yeah, I don't think she necessarily does. She just implies it, and I know that Lucien and Tamlin assume
June,
that,
exactly.
and that's what I think she mentions that when she's talking about the bond smell
Right.
on her still. It's like
And that's why
Reese's
they
scent from when.
right, right.
Um, so yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway, it's
Mm,
just it's like it's really tough because I'm like, that's a role you have to play, but you're also like feeding into the stereotype that he's been
right.
forced into, which just sucks. That's your
Yeah,
mate. Like, how can you?
I know. And at the same time, it's like she absolutely can't have sex with Tamlin right
Right.
now. So
No,
she
no,
needs to come up with a good
absolutely not.
excuse. Yeah.
She's not a Jurian and
Right.
Calethea moment going on. She's
No.
not.
But I think she could have played the like, you really hurt me before I left the spring
Right.
court.
We
I'm
need
I'm
some
a
time to.
delicate flower. I have to like learn how to trust you again. Bap, bap, bap,
Right.
bap.
Like, go from that angle instead.
Right.
But then that would also be like, even though they know that most likely she was upset, I mean, they heard her screaming, like when Tamlin
Mhm.
locked her in the house. He still, I think, believes that she was stolen from him, like we've said
Right.
too. So it's like, there's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
doesn't.
it's so hard. I don't
Lying
know.
is
Yeah.
hard, you guys. Don't
I
do it.
know.
It's
How do you
exhausting.
keep up with it? Yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
So Feyre asks Lucien if there's any way to get out of the deal with Hybern now that she's back, but no. The King of Hybern is the master of closing loopholes, plus magic. The magic of bargains is old and strange, and you don't really know how it will make you pay if you break a bargain. That's why bargains are best avoided. Lucien knows because he did a lot of research into this while trying to figure out how to free Feyre from her tiny, wispy bargain with Rhys. They didn't tell Feyre because they didn't want to give her false hope, and they didn't want to risk Rhys hearing about it and intervening. Wow, great plan. Worked out really well. Seems so dumb to not tell Feyre you're trying to figure out how to break the bargain. You could have easily
Right.
tempered her hope, right? Like, we have no idea if this is going to work. We're trying to figure something out. Plus, she was depressed as fuck. She probably would have defaulted to no hope.
Hmm.
Her stupid, my broken soul doesn't deserve to be freed from this hideous bargain. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, they can say that's what they were doing, but I agree. Why the hell wouldn't you tell her that? Like, getting her hopes up would be super sucky if you couldn't figure out how to undo the bargain, but then she would have at least known that you were trying to do something on her behalf.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that was necessary at that point in time. And also I was just thinking
No.
about this, like, so obviously Tamlin and King Hybern had to have made some sort of bargain with each other, right?
Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it's a magically binding contract. So what and Lucian is talking about King Hybern is this master of loopholes.
Mm,
And it's like, how did he phrase or word that bargain to make it so that it's going to actually fail spectacularly on Tamlin's side? You know what I mean?
right, right,
Like,
right, right, right.
there was no positives for Tamlin in any of that. I personally don't think.
Right. Or how can
And
you, like, get the King of Hybern to break the bargain so that he will be punished? Meh.
mhm, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So interesting. They also could have, like, taken I know she couldn't read yet, but they could have
Right.
taken Feyre with them to
Right.
research or, like, see the world. Anyway, but yeah, it was taking Lucian too long to find answers. So and then that also so frantic Tamlin turned to Hybern. That also implies that, like, Lucian was searching after Feyre left.
Mhm. Right.
I mean, I'm sure he continued to keep looking, but I'm like,
Right, like,
"Were you
was the
really
hope
looking when she was here?"
and then it was like, was the hope, like, just to keep searching so that if and when you did find her, you could break her from the
Right.
bargain? Like, what was why were you still like, I feel like getting her back was more important than
Yeah, yeah,
continuing to
yeah.
research,
But they
but
would still need to break
to
it if they
know.
got her back,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Especially after receiving Farah's very convincing letter that she was fine and not to come looking for her. Tamlin was handling that really well. And then after Lucian found Feyre in the forest, Lucian told Tamlin to go ahead with the Hybern plan.
And after that, I was like, "So, Lucian, are you an idiot? Or, like, were you just trying to placate and calm Tamlin down to, like, make him feel like he had a plan to get Feyre back? Like, why would you advise him to do that after
Right.
everything? Like, that seems really weird.
I mean,
That
yeah, I guess they just both were so desperate and couldn't imagine a world in which Feyre was not
right.
being coerced or
hmm
and was in an unsafe situation.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it seems like they were already in talks with Hybern. Lucian went to find Feyre in the forest and
hmm
then was like, "You're right, Tamlin. We have no other choice. Feyre's
Yeah.
beyond reason. We have to get her back." Like, that's what I'm imagining. I mean, I like, that's hard. It's hard
hmm
to it's like, I guess if I really can take myself out that's why I wish there was multiple POVs in this book. Like, I
hmm
feel like it
I
would
know.
be a lot more compelling story to understand what people think.
hmm Besides just
Um,
Feyre, because I,
yeah.
I- we've talked about she seems to be an unreliable narrator
Mhm.
to us on a lot of other people's thoughts, actions, and motivations.
Yes.
So
Right.
yeah,
And part of me is like, are we supposed I mean, I guess we are supposed to be bopping along in Feyre's brain and thinking and agreeing with everything she says. But
right.
also, I feel like a lot of these situations are super complicated. The other characters are really complicated, and
hmm
we are being forced to dislike them when we could, you know what I mean? We could hate the
Yeah.
real villain, which is Feyre. But no, we have to live in her brain. Okay. How do I really feel? All right. So Feyre then asks how bad it was after she left. She's like, just tell me the truth. How bad was it? Lucian tells her Tamlin trashed Feyre's room, the study, and his bedroom. Tamlin also killed the sentries that had been on guard after he got the last bit of information from them. I guess that makes sense why Alice didn't tell Tamlin that Feyre left of her
Of
own
her
free
own.
will.
hmm
And I'm like, okay, I'm sure Feyre feels so safe to be back at the spring court with Tamlin. Like, you're 500 years old. Stop being so emotional.
And not only that, but like, what
What
exactly were those sentries supposed to have done? More winnow
exactly?
directly to Feyre
Right. I
somehow.
mean, yeah.
We've got to talk about that later too with more because I
Yeah.
thought that like those places were
Uh,
warded
I don't know
against.
though. Did she winnow directly to Feyre, or did she like winnow and like march up the steps? Maybe she like
Well,
truthed those guys out of her way. I don't know.
maybe I
What are
don't
her
know.
actual powers?
She truthed them out of the.
No one
Yeah,
knows.
yeah. Nobody knows. Yeah,
So Tamlin went cuckoo for
crazy.
Cocoa Puffs. Lucian tried to stop Tamlin, begged him for mercy, etc., like not to kill the sentries, but Tamlin was basically out of his mind and couldn't be reasoned with. Ridiculous.
Right. Ridiculous.
People get broken up
Ugh.
with all the time. Tamlin. I mean, I know that she didn't break up with him. She was violently stolen from his house. Everybody he left there had one job, which was probably to keep Feyre locked up. Doesn't make it better.
Right. Exactly.
Lucian says they were backed into a corner and it was better to ally with Hybern since they have enemies in every court. Why don't you just stop being such assholes and make
Right.
friends with the other courts? So Hybern's alliance will make the other courts think twice. Why would they attack the spring court?
Anyway.
I don't get it. Feyre,
Uh,
like you have a
right.
common
Like what?
enemy, Hybern.
Well, like what war would they be initially have been trying to get to Tamlin for anyway? Then I was like, were they worried that the other High Lords would try to go and I don't know, kidnap Feyre, try to get their own power back if they
I mean,
found out
yeah.
what she was capable of? Like, I don't understand what this like protection of Feyre over and over and over in the Spring Court was about. Like, who was really after
Right.
her?
We thought Hybern was after her. We thought they were
Right.
protecting her from
From
Hybern.
Hybern. And now they're in cahoots with him, but they still,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's always what I thought he was protecting her from in
Right.
part one of Mist and Fury. It was like, Hybern's trying to infiltrate the Spring Court. They're going to get you because of the whole cauldron nonsense.
But
But I guess
now,
it's not. Yeah. So
yeah.
that is, I don't get it. Anywho, Feyre thinks / knows ? Lucian is lying. Okay, so maybe none of that makes sense. After all of our questions. But what? Why? What? Tell me the truth. And Lucian and Feyre both agree that they hate Hybern. Same. The next morning, Jurian wakes Lucian and Feyre up. Of course, it was cold at night, so the two of them are cuddled together. It looks suspicious. Brannog, evil twin girl, Dakota Fanning, tells Feyre she'd pick Baron's son too. Those autumn court males are good in the sack. So now Feyre's just thinking about Elaine and Lucian doing it as they're hiking to the wall. Suddenly, they hear Jurian curse and draw his sword, and they see 3 children of the blessed looking at them, all through the hole in the wall. The evil twins are like, "Yay, a snack!" And the children of the blessed are being dumb and say they have come as tribute to dwell in the immortal lands. Lucian's like, "Yeah, that's not a thing. Actually, should go back." And Jurian seems upset that there are humans here. It's like he's worried for them. That makes sense.
Interesting.
He's a human, which is weird. The cauldron made him a human. Feyre uses her magic to make the children understand that they are actually scary. So they run away. Evil twin girl wants to chase after the humans, but Feyre's all, "Try it. See what happens. I will mess you up." So the twins, grumbling, start to examine the wall. Jurian sidles up to Feyre and thanks her. I was like, "Jurian, don't even start. You're not in cahoots, okay?"
I know. Because I'm like, Jurian, you might be working for the worst Fae of all right now, but you're still human, so maybe you still have some loyalty to the humans. But then
Oh,
why are
yeah.
you helping Hybern take down the wall? Like, I'm all back and forth.
Right.
We need to get farther into this book before I have any more Jurian.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything his
yeah.
motivation's like.
Mhm.
So that night, Feyre ends up at the campfire by herself with Jurian. She has a gnarly headache after pushing her magic through the wall earlier. Jurian wants to know more about the humans who make it through the wall. And Feyre's like, "I don't know, dude. Use your imagination." Jurian's
Probably
being a
not good.
grandpa. Yeah. Jurian's being a grandpa, having a back in my day moment, like, "We used to be their slaves. Now these dumb zealots want to come in here." Feyre comments on how Jurian isn't sounding like Hybern's faithful pet, but Jurian has unfinished business. Feyre reminds Jurian that Miriam is dead. Jurian gets riled. He's like, I know you're lying to me. Everything he did during the war was for the 2 of them, for their people to survive and one day be free. And how is Jurian repaid? Miriam ran off with that pretty boy Prince. Feyre is egging him on and brings up Clythea, like, "You cheated on Miriam with her," but Miriam was the
Right.
one who told Jurian to use Clythea for information.
Personally, this seems like something Jurian conjured in his head to excuse or for the reason on why he was sleeping with Clythea for info. I seriously doubt that a woman in love would be all right with her, person sleeping with the enemy for
Yeah.
information. I don't
I
know. It
don't
just
know.
seems
Desperate
far-fetched.
times. It's
Yeah.
a war. There's a war going on. You're a
Yeah.
spy. I don't know. Yeah. But same. I mean, Jurian has had 500 years to stew and come up with the story,
Right.
if he
Right.
wants to tell himself that. But I don't know. I could also, I guess, see it. Maybe Miriam's like a ruthless
Maybe
whatever.
because she was a half fae also. I mean, she
Yeah.
was
Um,
half
so
slave.
now, right. I mean, she was a slave. She would, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a war. People do bad stuff
I know.
in war. Men should stop
Mhm.
making wars happen,
Mhm.
So now Jurian's doing all of this to draw Miriam out of her hidey hole and make her regret what she did. Feyre's like, "Revenge? Really? Oh, real original." But Feyre, isn't that what you're doing too? Feyre's got to remember to play it cool. She tells Jurian, yes, against Rhys, she would like revenge. Silly Feyre. Can't trick Jurian. He knew Rhys in the war. I love how, like, people are now starting to be like, I know this is Rhys's reputation, but his
But
actions don't really match up.
Mhm.
Jurian knows Rhys risked his legion to save Miriam in the war. That's how Amarantha captured him. So Rhys knew it was a trap for Prince Draken. So against orders, Rhys marched in his legion to get Miriam out. For Rhys's friend, for Jurian's lover, and for Draken's sake. It's a weird thing for a soulless, wicked, sadistic murderer to do, huh? Uh-oh. Jurian knows what's up.
Yes, he
Quote. And yet, here you are, his mate, the most powerful High Lord in the world, lost his mate and has not yet come to claim her, even when she is defenseless in the woods. Perhaps that's because Rhysand has not lost you at all, but rather unleashed you upon us. I was like, okay, stop being so perceptive. Everyone, and I love how everyone has their own little motives and doesn't really care what anybody else is doing. They're like, oh, whatever this is not affecting me negatively yet. Carry on. That's fine with me, actually.
This part, I just loved it. Just as an important reminder that Jurian saw a lot as that eyeball and probably noticed a lot of subtleties that others did not pick up on. Like he couldn't sleep.
Totally.
Couldn't even really close that eyeball, I don't think. I don't think he had an eyelid on there.
Right.
So,
and I guess for 400 years before Amarantha came back to Prithian, he was just chilling with Amarantha and the king of Hybern. Maybe he knows the king really well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then the next morning, Lucian wakes Feyre up and they discover that those gross, dumb twins tracked down the humans and tortured and ate them. Feyre and Lucian are pissed. Also, like, why don't these old-ass beings know how to deal with disappointment? We told you no. Bad dog.
And are humans really that tasty?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why do you have to eat
I don't know.
them?
I know. They're just like sadistic and they wanted to like hurt them. Like, it's like they were in pain and here their mangled bodies that clearly were tortured. It's just like.
I know. Well, it just feels like cannibalistic versus like, when we've run into the other scary Fae or like the worm, for example, you're like, oh, okay, well, it's
you're
a big scary monster.
Yeah, like you're a creature. Yeah.
Yeah. But these are like people just with
Yeah.
pointier ears than us humans are,
And they're just like truly sociopathic, like Dexter type of individuals that want to hurt them for fun. It's like, even if, sure, you think humans are animals and they're beneath you, but it's like, I still wouldn't do that to any living creature. Watch them suffer. Like, Jesus Christ. So anyway, they're fun. Feyre and Lucian talk about burying the bodies, but Lucian says that will send a message that they're willing to clean up Hybern's messes. So they come up with a different plan instead. All right. Cut to Tamlin, pacing in front of the hearth in his study, giving Feyre and Lucian a talking to. Lucian and Feyre tracked down the bog and sicked it on the twins. Yes, suck it. Amazing.
Oh my, I cackled. It's like the dynamic duo causing trouble in the spring court once again. But also like this vision had me of thinking of like Tamlin as a dad pacing in front of his two children sitting there with their hands in their laps. Like
100%. Yeah.
Trying not to giggle and smirk at what they did because they're actually super
like,
proud of themselves.
Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Do it again. The twins got away, darn it, but barely. They were really scared. Lucian defends Feyre. He says she gave the twins a direct order and they ignored it. They can't let Hybern walk all over them. Plus, Feyre's arguing that all lives are important and wants to know if Tamlin only cares about fairy lives. Good question. Tamlin makes Lucian leave and Feyre turns on Tamlin, reminding him that he can't talk to her that way. Yes, girl, tell him. And that Tamlin promised he wouldn't act this way. She keeps goading him and brings up a valid point. Tamlin needs to stop talking down to her and acting like she doesn't understand things. Feyre's very smart. Not after everything Feyre went through to get back to Tamlin and the Spring Court. To their people. No one is happy to be working with Hybern, and everyone is wondering if Feyre is worth the dishonor of all of this. I'm like, it seems very real. Tamlin sold out everyone else to get Feyre back. He whored them out to Hybern. Tamlin may be willing to suck Hybern's dick, but Feyre isn't.
Damn right.
I paraphrased.
I know. I know. Feyre had made some really great points in this part. Things that Tamlin clearly did not think too much about, or he was just so blinded to try to get her back that I think he's surprised that everyone isn't just like as happy as he is to have her back. Like, I think that he really kind of thought that having her back would kind of solve all of the other problems maybe that's going on. And I don't think he loves that it's being pointed out that really all that he did was super selfish. And in fact, he did not have his court in mind at all. Like, he's not being a good leader right now. It's.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, she doesn't say that, but it's very much implied, like, you really kind of screwed your court over by doing this, and I don't know. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like, this is where I'm struggling too right now. It's like, what's the angle? How is Tamlin, like, in a position where he's like, well, I had to do this with Hybern for multiple reasons, not just getting Feyre back. I had to keep people safe this way. This also reminds me of their wedding situation where it's like, let's just get married. Everything will be
Yeah.
cool. It's
Everything's
like,
gonna
let's
be
just get Feyre
fine.
back. No matter what we tear down in the process, and everyone will be happy. No, they won't. So Feyre telling Tamlin he's sucking Hybern's dick, that's too much. Tamlin has a temper tantrum, but Feyre was ready for it, and she purposely doesn't shield herself. So she goes flying. Lucian comes bursting back in. He takes Feyre out of the room. She's hurt. She's bleeding. Lucian's pissed. Braun and Hart, Tamlin's favorite sentries who were guarding the door, are looking on, like aghast. Braun and Hart were those ones that Feyre was hanging out with in Mist and Fury who were like, we saw you with the worm. You're so cool. Or we heard about it, maybe. I don't know. But
yeah. And she was like, do not talk to me about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not a good moment for Tamlin. Feyre makes sure her healing powers are suppressed so she can milk this for as long as possible. And when Tamlin says her name as she's leaving, she tells him she's fine. She apologizes. Ha! Fell right into her trap. Just like everyone else. Wow, Feyre. I would say this is amazing. So later, when Feyre's in the bathtub, Rhys checks on her through the bond. Feyre notes that the connection's quieter and tenser than it had been days ago. Rhys obviously very upset that Tamlin attacked Feyre. Rhys wants Feyre home. Their little exchange ends with some selfies down the bond. It's cute. Rhys, of course, is being vulgar. The next day, Feyre makes sure to go riding and have Braun and Hart escort her so they can observe her still suffering from her injuries. Feyre's actually like a little surprised that she's not fully healed yet, but it is working to her advantage. So,
just brief pause, because how is she not concerned? Or why has literally no one else noticed the fact that a high fae still has cuts and bruises from the day before?
I know.
Like,
I wonder.
They heal super fast.
Right. But do they all, or do like some of them have magic to heal? And if you don't heal,
I don't know. I mean, I think that fae in general have a pretty good healing ability. So I like it almost would feel suspicious if she showed up the next day still with those. Like maybe if they
Right.
I guess that was the only point I was trying to make. Like that would be suspicious that she still has those.
Right. I mean, I think it is important for us to remember right now that she is not healing. Okay.
Right.
And she's surprised that she's not feeling healing. And she's also having headaches, and the bond is being goofy.
Weak
okay.
and weird.
I don't know. That's probably not important.
Right.
Feyre forgave Tamlin the night before after he begged. Classic. Heard that before, but Lucian's giving Tamlin the silent treatment. Way to go, Lucian. This is the first time I think he's like
truly on her side. Yeah. And gonna stand by her. Yeah.
Yeah. The wall reconnaissance missions have been delayed a little bit so Feyre can recover, and she, here we go, has a constant headache now from trying to constantly shield as many people as possible from the Mind Twins. And Feyre's other magic is feeling a little weak as a result.
Side eye.
Okay. Feyre also asks Ianthe for company, and they talked about Tamlin drama, and Feyre makes sure to say in front of witnesses that the Spring Court is so lucky to have both Tamlin and Ianthe guarding their lands. Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait.
Take the bait.
And oh man, what do you know? 7 Naga break into the estate grounds in the middle of the night. That very night, luckily, Ianthe had a vision from the cauldron that this would happen, so she's able to stop it. What are the chances?
How is nobody putting 2 and 2 together? Like, she's crazy bitch. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I know.
I think some people do, right? Somebody does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like Jurian's like, this was a cool coincidence.
What a coinkadink this was.
Yeah. Also, the Naga were found with the keys that had gone missing. Oh, yeah, the keys that no one seemed to care about. What do you know? The next morning, the sentry who lost the keys is being dealt with. The sentry strung up between 2 posts for a lashing. The sentry's denying culpability, but no room for mercy. Feyre holds Lucian's hand, a little for show, but also she needs his support. I've watched Outlander. Watching somebody get whipped, not so great.
Ugh, no.
Right before Tamlin is about to start, Feyre uses her magic to free a memory she'd hidden in the sentry's mind, and the sentry says that Ianthe stole the keys. Feyre had been biding her time and waiting to see how Ianthe would retaliate for Feyre's solstice undermining performance. So Feyre followed Ianthe around and saw her lull the sentry to sleep and take his keys. It was all a setup. The sentry tries to reason with Tamlin or get him to believe the truth, but Ianthe's pushing back until Feyre steps forward and says, she'll hear the sentry's story. So Ianthe keeps digging herself into a hole. It's like, methinks thou dost protest too much.
Mm-hmm.
Tamlin also starts to get suspicious of Ianthe, but Hybern Thing 1 scoffs about all this weakness, and Tamlin has to double down. Ianthe also can't back down because if she admitted guilt, that would be really bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great look.
No.
So Tamlin ends up whipping the sentry, and the end result is he looks like a giant jerk, and his other sentries feel betrayed a little bit. Ianthe looks like a huge bitch, and Feyre looks benevolent and reasonable. This is where I was like, how is Feyre so good at this? I mean, I feel like I would be horrible at pitting people against each other. There's no way I could come up with this master plan, and this idiot is pulling this off. Okay.
I mean, especially because she has yet to seem to be very skilled at planning or critical thinking.
Suddenly.
So when it comes to revenge, I guess she's a genius. I don't know, but yeah.
She's like Mary suing this revenge plot. Good job. But yeah. So all Tamlin's subjects are feeling like Tamlin doesn't care about them anymore, and that Ianthe and Hybern are more important to Tamlin than they are. It's the moral of the story. Ianthe sticks around after this is all over. She goes back to the manor with Tamlin and the Hybern crew for lunch. Feyre stays in the barracks and helps tend to the sentry. Bronn and Hart escort Feyre back to the manor hours later, and when Feyre apologizes again about not being able to stop what happened, they're like, no, we're sorry about everything. And Feyre thinks, quote, if I had asked them, they would have handed me their own knives to slit their throats, end quote. It's like, that feels extreme. I'm not sure I believe that, actually.
I know, it felt so exaggerated. I mean, you can pat yourself on the back for a job well done. That was a great little plan that you had. But having others self-sacrifice for you seems far-fetched.
She's like, I am so good at this. They are eating out of the palm of my hands. Like, yeah.
Unreliable narrator.
Okay, Feyre. So then the next night, Ianthe announces that she and Tamlin will be coming with everyone to go to the wall in the morning. It's going to be a party. Jurian winks at Feyre, quote, as if he too saw the game in motion. I was like, Jurian, don't make me like you.
I know, because you're crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Feyre packs her bags that night, and Alice comes in with more supplies since it'll be a longer trip. More supplies. Alice tells Feyre that when Feyre leaves tomorrow, Alice and her nephews will be returning to the summer court. Feyre tells Alice not to tell Tarquin that Alice knows Feyre since there's a blood ruby with Feyre's name on it. I was like, why the fuck would Alice talk to Tarquin, the High Lord of the summer court?
I know. The only reason that I could think of is that I thought Alice mentioned that her sister works in the Summer Court Palace. So maybe she's going to try to also get a job there. So she might be interacting with him. Agreed, though. It was a bit of a stretch and an interesting warning from Feyre, but I guess I can kind of vaguely connect the dots potentially. So
yeah. Or I'm also just thinking right now, like, I guess that would be a easy way for Alice to get back in to the summer court, like, hey, I'm from the spring court and I know a lot of stuff. As a servant, I can tell you things. Maybe that angle, but
exactly. Yeah.
So Alice tells Feyre she will always have at least one friend at the summer court, and Feyre tells Alice she'll have a friend in Feyre's court as well, and Alice knows she's talking about the night court. Also, when I was going back to make these notes in summary, I was like, oh, Alice knows what's about to go down. She's yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I jumped ahead of myself a little bit there on my last little comment about that. But yeah.
No. Yeah. For sure. So the next morning, the sentries are giving Tamlin the cold shoulder. And then Feyre says winnowing felt like wading through mud, and her powers had become more of a burden than a help. She has a headache, and she's getting dizzy from winnowing so much. And you're not concerned at all? I think also she's not totally healed. Maybe I left that part out. Or or it still took her a long time to be healed.
Yeah. So this is beyond abnormal feelings while using your magic. Can you please pay attention, dummy? Unless you truly just were chalking it up to constantly using your brain power to shield everyone's minds from the twins. I
Right.
don't know,
I
but
know. I think that's kind of what she is doing. But see, this is where I
yeah.
was like, wow, Feyre, you're so good at planning and plotting these people against each other. But now, okay, it's feeling more real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When they set up camp, Feyre asks to share a tent with Ianthe instead of Tamlin. And I still can't get over the fact that anybody's even sharing tents. It's like, can't Tamlin put the tents in a, magical pocket or whatever and pull them out with magic later? Like, why do they have to lug all these supplies?
I
Magic them.
I well, and I think that like the only thing that I can think of with this is that like when their ability to winnow distances has to do with like how much they're carrying, because they've even talked about like they've described more in Reese as like feeling
Right.
exertion from winnowing or whatever. So it's like
Yeah.
maybe the less that they have, it's because it
I
doesn't
mean,
sound like they have like the same type of like, I don't know, compartment to like put like a magical pocket. I wish they
right.
did, but
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
just
sound like it's the
stay, right.
same. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like stays in place, right? Like when
Right.
Tamlin vanished the middle of the table or whatever. I know, and she does talk
Right.
about like, it is harder to winnow with like more stuff. So that's why they had to bring
Right.
less stuff. But I'm just
And
like,
or have more people that could winnow to like take them there. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, it's like it's the spring court. The weather's nice, right? Like, do you really need tents? You could just sleep under the stars.
Yeah.
No shelter.
Right.
Um Anyway, obviously, Feyre doesn't want to share a tent with Tamlin, but she also wants to keep Ianthe away from Lucian, and Feyre's pretending she wants to make nice with Ianthe. Feyre really wants to kill Ianthe, but refrains. Look at that. The 20-year-old has more restraint than the 500-year-old High Lord.
Himbo. Yeah.
Yeah, himbo. The spring himbo. Feyre has bigger goals and purposes than just revenge and personal retribution, okay? But then when Feyre wakes up, her knife is in her hand, and Ianthe wakes up to see Feyre kind of holding it over her. Ianthe's afraid, which, valid. Feyre is not happy with you for giving Nesta and Elaine to Hybern so they could have a spa day in the cauldron.
It's just so funny. They're both currently pretending that they like each other.
Yeah.
Like even to each other when it doesn't even need to be that way. Like you both know that
Right,
you
right,
hate
right,
each
right,
other. I
right.
don't understand. Yeah.
Why don't you just have a nice time in your tent, like being like, fuck you? Just get it all out.
They could start,
Um,
fighting and like
right, right, right.
yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of like, I guess brave. I don't want to say brave necessarily. A Feyre to sleep in a tent with Ianthe. Like Ianthe also could have slit your
Right.
throat in the middle of the night
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
said anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Feyre cannot forgive the terrors inflicted on her friends and family. So she's very mad at Ianthe.
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to everyone looking at the crack in the wall. Ooh, ah. Later that day, Tamlin and Jurian are off hunting. Ianthe went somewhere to pray, and Feyre doesn't know where Lucian is. So Feyre's just hanging out. She's eating an apple and listening to the murder twins talk about the merits of the different cracks they have looked at. On the one hand, the first crack is better because it's closer to the western coast and has more access to Tamlin's supplies. On the other hand, this crack is closer to the strait. Feyre chimes in and votes for the crack they're currently at so Hybern can cross the strait before the other courts have time to rally and intercept them. And Feyre's like, what do I know about moving armies? Yeah, Feyre, what do you know? Also, it's not about that. Feyre's like, say what? You're telling me this all hasn't been about trying to break the wall and use the cauldron to also transport the massive Hybern's armies here? Haha, no, says Dakota Fanning. Obviously when I was making these, I couldn't remember their names. So Brannog, is that her name?
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
Says evil girl twin. Quote, the cauldron is not for transporting grunt armies. It's for remaking worlds. It is for bringing down this hideous wall and reclaiming what we were. End quote. And then Feyre finds out Hybern's armies, combined with their allies in Valahan, Montessori. Is that really what it was?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I didn't say it out loud ever, so saying it out loud, I'm like, Montessori school,
Sorry.
okay. And Rask are 200,000 strong. Dang, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Uh-huh. Yeah.
The villain monologue continues, and Feyre learns that Hybern didn't attack when Amarantha ruled because the king hadn't found the cauldron yet, and he still was letting the experiment play out for how they might break Prithian's resistance. Like, do you really need 50 years to learn that? Or.
I mean, he's immortal, so 50 years probably feels like
Right.
50 days to him,
Yeah.
but, and, like you said, he was looking for the cauldron still. He knew the wall couldn't come down without it, so why not let Amarantha have her fun and destabilize Prithian in the meantime? I mean,
Right. The self-sustaining system at that
exactly,
point.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Also, Amarantha's reign of terror was a nice little warning to the continent. So Hybern's own force will take care of Prithian, and then they'll meet up with the others. The cauldron will wipe the world clean again. Like, whatever you say, you zealots.
Right.
Mhm. The holes in the wall exist because a person or object of mighty power passed through it, and the cauldron will study what's already been done and magnify it until the wall collapses completely. Quote, "It is a careful, complex process, and one I doubt your mortal mind can grasp." Feyre says, "Probably, though this mortal mind did manage to solve Amarantha's riddle and destroy her." And I was like, bold move to want to brag about that. Bold. I would actually downplay that, Feyre.
Like, don't show them your backbone right now.
Right,
Like,
right.
don't show them your I don't know. And not only that too, but, like, yes, she solved it, but it was a stretch to
That's
say
what I'm
that.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
you were successful by the skin of your teeth. Like,
Mhm,
she actually killed you.
mhm.
You, like,
And if Reese wouldn't have
um,
been there, you would not have been successful in any way, shape, or form.
right, 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 right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you would have
yeah.
gotten smushed by
Yeah.
that, I don't know,
By
fucking
anything, by the
lever.
worm, by
I
the
will never
lever.
forget the lever. Well, she
I
would have done okay with the worm. Well, actually, she would have died after the worm. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, Reese
yeah,
saved her from the worm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, Farah, please don't
yeah.
pretend like what you did under the mountain was like, what am I trying to say? Like,
Like,
yeah,
really
something to
heroic or
brag about,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
it was like
yeah,
skillful and
yeah.
cool. It wasn't. Um, yeah. So now Farah's like, okay, mission accomplished. I have all the information I need: numbers, a purpose, a specific location, and the names of foreign territories. Time to leave the spring court and the people who had lost faith in their high priestess and sentries who were beginning to rebel against their high lord. Farah's just set everybody up to fail. She repacks her bags with the supplies Alice gave her and sneaks away from camp. She also takes Tamlin's bandolier of Illyrian fighting knives. So yeah, he doesn't deserve those. Take
No.
those back where they belong.
Mhm.
Feyre knows the party will return without her, and Ianthe and Tamlin will lie about where Feyre went to maintain their illusion of strength. But Feyre has planted a story in one of the sentries, so in a day or two, they'll leak that Feyre had fled for her life after being nearly killed by the evil twins, and how Ianthe and Tamlin refused to intervene and risk their alliance with Hybern. It's like, that ought to do it. Everyone likes Feyre now after her solstice hijinks and her compassion after the sentry was wrongfully punished. Her masterful, some would say impossibly masterful plan worked perfectly. Ha 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 ha.
Hmm. Too perfectly?
Hmm.
Mm.
As Feyre's sneaking through the trees, she hears Lucian and Ianthe. Ianthe is trying to get Lucian to sleep with her again, but Lucian is a happily mated male. Thank you very much. Ianthe doesn't believe him and is jealous of how much Lucian touches and pays attention to Feyre. Feyre's like, whoops, I'm too good at subterfuge and manipulation, apparently. Feyre wants to just keep going, but she can't make herself leave Lucian to Ianthe's devices. It's a good thing, too, because Lucian is backed against a tree with the Hybern magic nullifiers on his wrists. Ianthe's touching Lucian without his consent. Feyre makes her presence known. It's very interesting to me, too, that this series has 2 women serial rapists. Like, that honestly feels like the most unrealistic part of this magic fairy series. Seduction? Sure. Full on rape? Eh. What?
And when you brought this up, like, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but it is really interesting, especially because when I was, like, reading it, I always had felt that in general, Ianthe was like an opportunist, like a blackmailer, or kind of like just power hungry. Like, she seemed
Yeah.
to like be deceitful and just kind of trick males into her bed, kind of. Whereas
Right.
like Amarantha, like more like truly forced things to happen. It doesn't make a ding dang difference, really. It's the same. The result's the same, but it's just it's a
Mhm.
very interesting parallel. for sure.
Right.
Between
I
those
mean, at
two.
least if you seduce someone, like they're willing. I
Right.
also thought that too. Like probably like a lot of the times I would think that Ianthe was probably she's hot.
Right.
It's probably pretty easy get people to sleep with her.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like these situations where like Reese is not interested, Lucian is not interested, and she's like,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
actually, yeah,
Actually, how can you not be? Look at how
right,
hot.
right, yeah. So unrealistic. That feels unrealistic to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, So Feyre slams into Ianthe's mind and takes control of her. Feyre has Ianthe unshackle Lucian and then pick up a rock, place her right hand on a boulder, and start smashing it until Feyre tells her to stop. As Ianthe is smashing, Feyre says, quote, "You will never touch another person against their will. You will never convince yourself that they truly want your advances, that they're playing games. You will never know another's touch unless they initiate, unless it's desired by both sides. You will not remember what happened here. You will tell the others that you fell." Farah says Ianthe can see a healer, but she can't erase the scarring, which will be a reminder, quote, that touching people against their will has consequences. And if you do it again, everything you are will cease to exist. You will live with that terror every day and never know where it originates. Only the fear of something chasing you, hunting you, waiting for you the instant you let your guard down.
I just personally hope Ianthe never sleeps a restful wink for the rest of her days, and may they be short.
I know. I mean, that it really is a better punishment than death. I wish you could do that
Yeah.
to people that deserved it
Mhm.
because, yeah, death is too good for certain people. And this also reminds me of The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating when Casimir does that to the thief or whatever.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. Poof.
Feyre lets Ianthe stop smashing and tells her to kneel in the clearing until someone finds her. Then Feyre tells Ianthe she thought about slitting her throat that morning, but this is a better punishment. Agreed. Live a long life and be unhappy for all of it, please. Feyre turns to Lucian, and he's just staring at Feyre like, what the fuck? And then, what do you know? The evil twins appear and tell Lucian the word he's looking for is Daemati. It's like, God, can't anything ever be simple?
Oh my
Like,
god, I know. Oh.
So the twins know Feyre was plotting and maneuvering, etc., but they are surprised that Feyre wasn't worried about them and their plotting at all. I was like, of course. The 20-year-old with no training in subterfuge or infiltration wasn't fully prepared for this mission.
Right. Imagine
Um,
that.
I know, right. And I was like, yeah, duh, of course, like there's something else going on. At first, Feyre thinks they're just talking about betraying the spring court and taking it over, but it is also revealed that Feyre's headaches, muffled bond connection, and weakening powers were caused by the meddling twins. Then, boy twin, I already forgot his name, Dagden?
Yeah, it's a really hard name to spell.
Yeah, Dagden, whatever.
Dagden. Yeah.
Yeah. Evil Boy Twin says he'll give it about 10 minutes before the apple kicks in. I was like, okay, hating this.
And I do have to come back and say the first time I read this, I remember thinking even before this part in the book, I was like,
Yeah.
something is wrong when Feyre is getting tired, she's having
Mhm.
headaches, she's not healing.
Right.
We alluded to
Yeah.
this already. But
Feels insidious, right? And you're like,
Mhm.
because of course it's not going to be
Yeah.
simple. It's not going to
No.
be. Fear's
Nothing
not going to be able
ever
to pull
is.
this off without a
No.
hitch. What are
Right.
you crazy?
Mhm.
So Ianthe was working with the Hybern twins to dose Feyre's food with finely crushed Febane stone to slowly stifle Feyre's powers. The twins have been Daemati for 1,000 years. So weird Feyre wasn't able to avoid falling victim to their plans. It's kind of not her fault,
Right.
but
Right.
Ianthe was happy to help out. They didn't even need to slip into her mind. That also makes sense. Ianthe, smash your hand more. And
Mhm.
Feyre was giving a really valiant effort trying to shield everyone and their mom at the spring court. Feyre's like, wait a minute. What apple? And I'm like, God, the one you were just smacking on an hour ago while getting all your intel. Pay attention.
Feyre, come on. I mean, well, it's like anytime that something like that, like just the fact that it was brought up that she was eating the apple in that scene, I'm like, okay, this is going to be important. Like, why would the author be bringing up the fact that she's eating this apple unless something bad
Yeah.
isn't going to happen about it? So, yeah.
Totally. So the apple was grown in the king's own garden in Hybern with Febane laced water, enough to knock out Feyre's powers for a few days straight. A few days straight. I want everyone to remember that too. So I'm like, what is the
Mhm.
half-life on this fucking Feybane?
God, I know.
Seems ridiculous. Feyre, I think you're slick. The horticultural twins knew you were leaving today. Feyre's running out of time and not sure if she should leave Lucien or not. Lucien tells Feyre to go without him, but Feyre has already made up her mind. So she winnows and attacks Dagden. Hey, I remembered his name. So they fight, and Dagden's just kind of toying with Feyre, waiting for the apple to finish kicking in. And so Feyre sends fire at Dakota Fanning, which makes Dagden extra angry, but it gives Lucien the opening to winnow in and kill Brannog, girl twin, and then Feyre is able to kill Dagden. Yay! Victory! Also, I'm sure this won't cause any unintended ripple effects or anything like that.
No.
And I was like, also, now your fake story is kind of true. Hybern twins tried to attack you, and you had to flee.
Yeah, it's like you kind of killed two birds with one stone here, and you fucked things up with Tamlin even more because now the twins who were there as emissaries to the Spring Court are dead.
Right. Yeah,
Oopsie.
Tamlin's
Yeah.
going to be in trouble.
Mhm.
Feyre's power is getting weaker and weaker as Feyre turns to Ianthe and tells Ianthe to say Feyre killed the twins in self-defense after they hurt Feyre, while Ianthe and Tamlin did nothing. Even if Ianthe gets tortured, she has to stick with the story. Feyre fled after she killed the twins to save the Spring Court from their horrors. Lucien tells Feyre he's coming with her back to the Night Court so he can be reunited with Elaine. Plus, Feyre won't make it on her own without magic. No time for arguing, really. So Feyre relents. They winnow off and on to the foothills, and both of them are struggling, like big time. Their power completely disappears at this point. Everyone must have gotten dosed at camp today, and Feyre just was extra special and also got a poisoned apple, Snow White style. Feyre has no connection to Rhys anymore.
He's got to be freaking out so
Mhm.
hard. Poor Reese.
Yeah. Totes. So Lucien and Feyre's only choice is to go through the doorway that leads to the Autumn Court, since she's public enemy number one in the Summer Court, and the other doorway leads to Under the Mountain, which is a dead end. So Lucien knows a place where they can hide until they can winnow again. Political aspirations update. Feyre had considered having the Illyrians come in and take over the Spring Court since it's weak right now, but then they'd be holding one territory with 5 other courts between them. It might have caused sympathy to sway for the Spring Court, and others might have joined Hybern against the Night Court. And I was like, that feels real.
Yeah.
Although Spring Court has so many enemies, maybe not. Who knows?
I know.
But if Spring falls to Hybern, then maybe the Night Court can rally the other courts to their cause. And then Lucien tells Feyre she was right. The girl he knew died under the mountain. Feyre chooses to take that as a compliment. And as they step through the portal or whatever it is, Feyre thinks she hears a beast's roar. It's like, poor Tamlin. Tam mad. He's
Wah, wah. Suck it, Tam Tam.
I know. Well, and that's the end of part 1.
That is the end of part 1. I loved how devious Feyre was in this.
Yes.
Even though I really struggle to believe that she came up with a lot of this stuff on her own and executed it
like
pretty
flawlessly.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the like interpersonal maneuverings.
Right.
But
Not
hey,
the
maybe
stuff
humans
with
are better at that. No, than Faye. Maybe this 20-year-old is better at interpersonal relationships than the centuries-old beings.
Which, I mean, she might be. I mean, they talk about how ruthless the Fae are, so I think that they're sometimes they think of more of like the instant gratification of being aggressive versus like sometimes the long con. Like it seems like of all the other high Fae that we meet, like Rhys is the only one who is as good of a schemer compared to everybody else.
He's like
you
very
know,
controlled.
if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We know Lucian's wily too, but we really haven't seen him like do anything. I also wonder, I mean, would Feyre keep this from us? But like, was she, I don't know, maybe at the same time when she's shielding people's minds, she's also getting some information from them, or she was like dipping into their minds to see if she was going in the right direction when she's trying to manipulate them and stuff.
Right. I really would like to, after reading these books again and going in so much more in depth, I really would like Sarah J. Maas to explain the Daemati powers. Why, like, if it's not just a thought broadcast at all times, like it's because it doesn't seem like you are getting like someone's stream of consciousness. Like if you're in their mind, like
Mm,
you are actually physically going in and like reading their memories. You know what I mean? So it's not like a
yes.
in the moment thing. So it's just interesting. But it can be
Mm-hmm.
in the moment because Feyre slipped into Lucian's mind and like saw herself through Lucian's eyes, like in the last book when they were sitting at the table. And she's like, oh, I hope he didn't notice that I was there, kind of thing. So
Right.
I
And
just
like,
want to,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. I want to know. And I'm also like, how does not everybody, like you were saying, like, why doesn't everybody have a shield on their mind? I know it's probably hard to do. I mean, I wonder if
right.
Feyre would have,
Or like, do you have
I
to
don't know,
actively
been
be
able to
thinking
do
about
it.
having a shield all the time? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I just don't, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times, though, Feyre will talk about how she checked her shields and they were up. So I
Sure.
think
That's
you get
true.
to a point where it's like a muscle and it
Mm-hmm.
stays up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Feyre also is infinitely less annoying so far
Mm-hmm.
in this
Very much
book.
so. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And it's also interesting to me that like Feyre, who is usually riddled with guilt, misplaced or otherwise, i- is like kind of sociopathic about the people that have wronged her. She feels
Mm-hmm.
no like she doesn't talk about remorse or even being like a little like I feel a little bad, but
Right.
this bitch is going
Even
down.
like even because I even thought in the part where Tamlin ended up whipping the his Sential that was
Mhm.
supposed to be on watch when the keys got stolen. Like she knew that Ianthe did it, and she knew that, or I guess like in the original moment with the keys, she thought she even said she thought Jurian did it. But
Mhm.
like as he's getting whipped, she releases that like current that memory that he has of Ianthe
Mhm.
sneaking in and like making him fall asleep so he can take the keys. So it's like,
Right.
why doesn't she feel bad about this, this guy getting whipped? Like,
Right.
there's no guilt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't
Yes,
feel
yes,
bad that
yes.
that happened.
Right.
Or she
Right.
does. She doesn't like it, but she doesn't feel like it was her fault, which previously she would have totally been like, oh, I should have done something
Right.
differently so that they wouldn't have experienced that pain and, that
Yeah, I
kind of
know. I
thing.
know. And like she could have yeah, I guess I mean that was her way of making the sentries turn against Tamlin though too.
I
Because she
know.
could have, I guess, told Tamlin. But then I was also confused because, I mean, once again, Farrah being an unreliable narrator, because it's like she wonders if Jurian took the keys when they were actually gone. But
Hmm.
then when she's talking about how she released the memory from the sentry that she planted there,
Hmm.
she followed Ianthe after the solstice. That's what she said she did. And she saw Ianthe do that thing.
Right.
So that next morning when she's sitting at the table being like, I wonder if Jurian has the keys. She knew who had the fucking keys.
Unless she just was wondering if Ianthe gave them to
I gave
Jurian
them to him. Yeah,
or
maybe.
like what, you know what I mean, or something like that. But you're right. It like
Mhm.
doesn't fully track then
Right.
with the
And I mean,
rest
I
of
guess
the
yeah, that is like a fun device because it leaves us like we go on the journey and we learn
right.
stuff and you're like, "Ooh, blah blah
Hmm.
blah." And that happens a lot in like Red Rising and in Dungeon Crawler Carl where he's
Right.
like it cuts out, and you don't get the reveal of the
Right.
plan until it's in
It's
action.
in action. And then there's like the flashbacks or like
Mhm.
it
Right.
goes back to when they were planning that specific
Right.
part. Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we in Carl's mind in Dungeon Crawler? Now I'm like thinking about that one too. It's like, yeah, I guess he's the
Yeah. Yeah.
narrator.
He's mm-hmm.
It's his POV. Yeah.
Because we get his internal thoughts.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think of him as an unreliable narrator, just like he saves it until it's for us to
Yeah.
know. But I don't trust
Yes.
Feyre at all.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl is more of just sneaky. He's revealing everything, but just at the right time. We're
Mhm.
just not
Yeah.
getting privy to his plans before he puts them in action,
Right, right, right. And I
which
mean,
is
yeah, again, that is very
yeah.
enjoyable. It wouldn't be so
Yes.
fun to know it
Right.
as
Hmm.
it's happening.
Exactly.
But yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
part one, this is fun. I was, especially after
I
the end of book two, you're like,
yeah.
I am ready to know what happens.
Hmm.
I was surprised. I don't know if I'm just feeling maybe I'm feeling guilty,
Yeah.
about not doing a good job of, like, sympathizing with other characters, but I was, like, surprised by how much I was trying to understand, like, Tamlin's point of view.
Right,
Fuck
right.
Tamlin.
Or even just like or Lucian or Tamlin or just kind
Mhm.
of like I think in the last book especially. Well, even in this book too, but like you don't really know that much about the Spring Court. Like the Night Court when Feyre is in Valaris, it feels so much more like there is actual people there. Whereas like in the
Mhm.
Spring Court, like there's nobody. Like, you
Right.
don't Feyre doesn't interact with anybody, or at least we're not privy to a lot of those conversations. It feels
Mhm.
almost like there's this big empty manor with Lucian, Tamlin, and Alice, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know, like, it just doesn't feel very expansive, and so now,
Mhm.
like, this first part of the story, you're kinda like, "Oh, there's, like, other things and people and fae that are here that you now you're worried about them because of Hybern coming in," and you're just kinda like, where's this all going? Like, what's gonna happen with them? And it's kinda
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the manor seems like it's a country manor, very
Mhm.
remote from any other little villages or anything
Mhm.
like that. And again, too, like, Feyre doesn't have she talks with Lucian. They
Mhm.
have meaningful conversations. And
Mhm.
again, it's like, I think Sarah J. Maas hates Tamlin, and she wants us to hate him too. We have no opportunity to like him at all.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't it's like, I don't really care, but at the same time, I'm like, there's gotta be so much more to this,
Right.
than just Feyre's, like, perception of everything.
Mhm. Yeah. I would agree with that. And I
Mm.
think that I mean, there's been interviews of her, like, I don't know that Tamlin's really gonna get, like, a redemption arc. It doesn't sound like she cares. Like you said, I think
Right.
she hates Tamlin as much as everybody
Yeah.
else does. Um, so I don't know that there's that, but I actually do really hope that there's some expansive, a little bit more like everything that a lot of the information we get about Tamlin is also from Lucian. Like there's not a whole lot that we get from Tamlin
Right.
about Tamlin
Yeah.
from Tamlin. So it'd be
Right, right, right.
great to actually have a little bit
Mhm.
more background on that.
I
I
know,
think
like
we get some more stuff later in this book around Tamlin,
yeah,
but yeah, yeah.
right. And I mean, still, it's book 3, and I feel like Tamlin and Feyre really haven't had a real conversation. Maybe they had a
No.
couple in book 1, maybe,
Mhm.
like, "Here's the rose garden and mates happen," but
To
yeah,
you
it's like,
yeah.
why don't we have I mean, yeah, again, it makes sense, I guess, but, like, where was the conversation when Feyre first got back to the spring court and her intent they had to, like, hash something out.
Right,
Or they
because
talk
it
did they
just
never talk? They might have never talked.
which they very well I mean, the first scene that we get from her being in the spring court is she says, "I've been, you know, putting on this facade for the last few weeks, and I've been painting and pretending like I'm doing better and, like, all this stuff,"
Mhm.
but then it's like, "So you've been there for a couple weeks?" Like, we have no idea what that initial interaction was between her and Tamlin or her and
Mhm.
Lucian or, like, anything. It
Yeah.
it also feels weird that things were so calm. Like, how was Lucian not going out of his mind? How was Feyre not acting like she was going out of her mind looking for her sisters, you
Right.
know?
Right, and then right, and I guess it's interesting too because you would think that they would have spent that month in real life if everything was true. Um, yeah, the 3 of them, like, plotting and
Trying to figure
planning how they're gonna get them back.
Mhm.
Or I guess even with the King of Hybern
Right.
talking about that.
Yeah, it's just very it's like, it makes sense for the book, but it's also just kind of
When you
like
think about it too hard, things start falling
yeah.
apart.
Yes, a little bit, unfortunately, so
Yeah, it's also interesting too, she's been there for a whole month and then like a week and a half or, however long they're all
yeah,
there, all of everything like falls into place and she's like, "And I'm
perfectly.
done. Like,
Yeah.
peace."
Mhm. Well, she had to be in the spring court for a while, but we all knew she had to get back to Reese too. So
Oh, yeah, totally.
we
I
had
think
to
she's
do a
only there
little
for like
something,
a
something.
month. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, we don't wanna hear all the
Yeah.
boring details
Right.
until the interesting stuff starts to happen,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, off to a good start. I'm already,
Mm.
like you said, Feyre's already a little more exciting. She's she's on a warpath right now, which is more fun to read about her, I think. And we know that this book is just setting up for a lot of big stuff to happen.
Yes. I
Yeah.
know. We're going to get to see some other courts,
Mm-hmm.
do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. It's fun too because I don't really remember what happens. I kind of have an inkling.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm excited.
anywho,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
We're done with this part. Join us next time while Lucian and Feyre traipse through the autumn court,
mm-hmm.
trying to get back to their mates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reese and Elaine, they're on their way. Yes, hopefully.
Here we come. All right. Well,
Um,
love
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Bye.